Is the sheep preaching hate?
But that leadership turned into a cult. When I say a cult, abusing and using God's people for their own personal gain. So if you're a leader that was at Straitway or still attending Straitway that know me personally, and I know you personally, I will be coming on the War Sheep podcast and I will be roasting your ass like a jerk chicken in Jamaica.
Shout the season,
Nigga, it's coming. This is Brother Mike. I'm in inward therapy right now. I got 10 niggas left to go. Make that 8. And I will be totally cured and healed. You thought you was going to piss all over these people with them lies, with that fake trust, with these fake marriage certificates, and you thought you was going to piss all over these people and walk away and live happily ever after? Well, you see what happened when you went over to Satan and asked everybody to pray with you to destroy the destruction of my flesh. Me and you, we get side by side. We can see whose flesh is being destroyed right in front of the eyes of the very people that you asked to join you. Oh, we gonna see. I'm gonna expose your nastiness, your wickedness, because I've never used that word exposed in none of my videos. But I'm gonna go on War Sheep. Oh, I'm gonna expose a whole lot. A whole bunch gonna get exposed. It's gonna be so exposed, it'll probably turn into an expose all over your ass that day.
Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent?
War. Sheep. War.
Is the sheep preaching hate?
If it's the record of life, yeah, I've had quite a few women. There ain't no doubt about that. Yeah, I've had quite a few women.
Why you back talking about him? You beating a dead horse. No, that horse ain't dead. That horse is still abusing, using, cheating, lying.
Yeah, I've had quite a few women.
And taking brothers' wives. King David, the father told him, if you wanted more, I'd have gave you more. He refers that to if he wanted more wives, because he's trying to justify his whoredoms.
Yeah, I've had quite a few women.
If you wanted more wives, he would have gave you some. That's the key word. If you wanted more, he, not your brother's wife, you going out. Every time you see an attractive woman, you jump out the window with your member in your hand. Talking about, pardon me, lady, I'm just doing my duty. I'm here to inspect. Is that your booty? Thought I didn't know. You thought I didn't know that when you took Brother Allen's wife for yourself, you messed up a beautiful family. Them sisters loved each other. Sister Tiffany, Brother Allen's principal wife, they loved each other. Their children loved each other. They all loved Brother Allen. It was beautiful, but you can't control that member. That's all right, because it takes 2. I'm gonna expose your nastiness, your wickedness, because I've never used that word exposed in none of my videos. But I'm gonna go on War Sheep. Oh, I'm gonna expose a whole lot. A whole bunch gonna get exposed. It's gonna be so exposed, it'll probably turn into an expose all over your ass that day.
Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent?
War. Sheep. War.
Is the sheep preaching hate?
You don't get angry at people for doing wrong. You don't get angry for women being used and abused. You don't even get angry when this man lies on the Most High, the Father of all creation. You don't get angry. Church funds misused. Community leaders stacking loot off the saints, the people of God. The preacher and his man, fast and prayed for this man, protected this man, invested in this man. Some have lied for this man. People have given all and are now too old to rebuild because they don't have enough time on this earth because of their age. They don't have enough time to rebuild. They trusted him and now have absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Damage? Collateral damage? You call them collateral damage? You look at all these people all these years, collateral damage? I'm going to show you collateral damage. Collateral damage? Are you serious? Here's your collateral damage. He took my brother's wife, put him out the church, and took his wife. Here's your collateral damage. Every time you kiss my brother's wife, you just suck his.
She take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger way over town who digs on me.
I'm expose your nastiness, your wickedness, because I've never used that word exposed in none of my videos. But I'm going to go on Warsheet. Oh, I'm going to expose a whole lot. A whole bunch going to get exposed. It's going to be so exposed, it'll probably turn into an expose all over your ass that day.
Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent?
What does it really mean? Y'all saying who gon' stand for me? For the evil that I see. Who gon' stand for me? Against all this iniquity. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Against all this iniquity. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep, it's our sheep. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for y'all? Who gon' stand for Jesus? Who gon' stand for me? The truth is on fire. We don't need no water, let the Holy Spirit burn. The truth is on fire. We don't need no water, let the Holy Spirit burn. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Psalms 94:16. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? I will. I will. I will. I will.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome back to the Worship Podcast. Listen, we got quite the show for you guys here today. Man, listen, it's just so much information that has come out over the past week. Many of you already know, right, that it left Dowell with nothing to stand on. Literally, Straitway has nothing to stand on, nothing that can be able to cling close tight to, no more lies that can be told. You understand what I'm saying? And of course, if you're a member of the Worship Podcast, you can take a look. I got a few new emojis you guys can use. We're going to dive deep into this thing. Listen, we got files that are coming out from over in Australia. Brother Abraham, bless you well. Bless you well. Good to see you in this thing. And also, not only that, we're going to do a few reviews on some testimonies that have recently come out. I got receipts that I would like to add to validity, to make it even more valid, right? To add some validity to a few testimonies that have come out, not only from Brother Jordan, well, mostly from Brother Jordan, okay? And so I want to validate those things. And, you know, of course, your brother, we got the receipts. We got the receipts to be able to back up the claims, to be able to back up anything. And we just want to shed light. We want to shed even more light on things that are going on that's more cult control activity. And shout out to everybody that's over on Kick, streaming live from over to Kick right now. First live stream over at Kick. You guys can add us at Worship Podcast over there on Kick, on the platform Kick, okay? So this is going to be a whole new experience for the platform Kick. And we're going to shed some light on this thing because, you know, here at the Worship Podcast, we believe that light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience, and that patience will create unity. So let's get unified in the spirit.
Is the sheep preaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore? If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one? He wasn't teaching hate, he was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop him. Do whatever you have to do to stop him. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate. He's violent.
All right, y'all. You already know. We're about to go ahead and dive into this thing. First, we're going to do some shout outs real quick. I feel like it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? First off, you know, let me say this, right? We got so many individuals that are coming forth with a great testimony who is wishing to share their testimony so they can be able to help other individuals navigate the terrain of different, cults that are out here present during this time and hour that we're in. You already know that we got to move in a certain capacity that will protect us, that will guard us, that'll keep us shielded from anything that's going to seek to devour our flesh, right? Like, you know, a roaring lion, how Satan would do, roaming about the earth. So what better way to do that than other than share our testimony, to share our stories, to be able to get them out there, to be able to reveal the truth in regards to some people who may wear a cloak of maliciousness. The best way to do what we need to do to protect and defend and to lead each other into the proper channels, right? For those who are truly seeking the face of the Most High Yah, is to burn the cloak, burn it. There's no other options, no other opportunities. It must be burned. We don't have any choice. So the testimonies that come out, the testimony that reveal the truth, this is how we truly are able to burn it down. Not only that, righteously dividing the word of truth with the book, spending time with the Father, spending time with Yeshua, understanding and fasting and prayer, understanding the strength and the power behind fasting and prayer, and how that's going to build you up in the faith. No, you don't need to forsake the fellowship of the saints. You need to find the saints who are also on the same wavelength, who are also on the same time. But let's go ahead and get to the shout outs real quick, y'all. And we're going to get this ball rocking and rolling. Shout out to Wisco, Pyro. Welcome in, my brother. Bless you and shalom, shalom. And let me go ahead. My bad. For all my righteous alpha men, drop a ram in the chat for me, please. And all my elegant women who are exceptional, drop a sheep in the chat for me, please. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. We're going to get it started off right. I think it was only right for us to do a few testimonies, but also we got a testimony coming up. I believe Brother Abraham is going to be joining me here today. And I'm going to do a quick interview with him. And we're going to unpack what's going on over there with Dowell in Australia. Now, my thing is this, right? How are you across the pond trying to spread your unrighteousness, your wickedness? You understand what I mean? Like, it is absolutely, like, I don't know, honestly disheartening to even listen to it or hear about it, right? It is. It is. But I think it was necessary for us to cover a lot of this stuff that's going on here right now. But shout out to you, Wisco Pyro. Shout out to you, my brother. Brother Chris Briggs, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Welcome in. I see you changed your name on your on your channel. Can We Talk or Not Talk podcast? Listen, he's got some great interviews over there. Go check him out. Okay, brother Chris Briggs, welcome into this thing. Got the Ram in the chat. Hallelujah. Like I said, we already over on Kick. We are streaming live on Kick over there. I don't know who this is, but all right. Appreciate the offer. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Sister Rose, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Good afternoon, everyone. Blessings. Blessings to you as well. Honorable Pastor Roof is in the house. Bless you and shalom, shalom. Bless you. Bless you well. Good to see you in this thing. All right. Who else? Mama Clay, welcome in. Mama Clay, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. My mother, Mama Shay, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Truth Sets Free, welcome in, my brother. Welcome in. Brother from Australia, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. All right. Rebecca, welcome in. Good to see you, Sister Rebecca. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom. Biblical Balance, welcome in. Shalom to you as well. Bless you. Warrior Woman, that's what I'm talking about. Warrior Woman. That's what I'm talking about. It ain't nothing like a good warrior woman. You know, you can be able to march her up there. She can defend in the word, contend in the word as well. Listen, you know, hold her own, stand her own. That's a great name. Bless you. Shalom, shalom. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Warrior for the Most High. Yeah, bless you, bless you. Seasons to Journey. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Plain, what brother Plain? Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. I'm gonna butcher your name, but brother Ben, welcome in. Ben Yakana, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Is that a brother or sister? Is that a sheep? I think that's a ram. My brother, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. All right, all right. Massible. I know I'll butcher. Bless you. Welcome in. Hey, yo, peace and blessings. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Sister Amy, you know, I'm gonna have to get you on the schedule for next week, Sister Amy. I've been thinking about it. It's been on my heart, and I think I'm gonna cover the Jermaine situation in Ohio, finish that up, and I'm gonna roll back and of course cover Fresh Hour, cover Fresh Hour as well. So if you're available, let me know, and we're gonna get you on a schedule. Because I haven't been able to touch bases with you just yet, so I'll do it now. I'll do it live. Messable. I want to make sure that I'm saying it right. I swear I'll be butchering her names. All right. Either way, TB, welcome in. Elder Jim McLean, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Mr. JK321, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Hallelujah. Bless you. Trucker Gots to Truck, welcome in. Keep on trucking. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good stuff. Good to see you in this thing. Elder Chris from KY North, welcome in. Elder Chris, good to see you in this thing. Nikki, Sister Nikki, welcome in. Brother Robert, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Honorable Brother Robert, the Honorable Elder Chris, the Honorable Brother Robert, welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Men who stand on business, welcome in. TB, I believe Sister TB, welcome in. If I haven't shouted you out just yet. Sister Angelica, welcome in. Life is good. Yeah, it sure is when you're standing on business on the Father's business. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you and shalom, my sister. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. All right. Brother Vic, bro Vic, good to see you in this thing. Welcome in. Unknown Grills, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Brother Charlie, my brother, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Sister Catherine, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Brother Reggie, welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Bless you. Shalom, shalom. All right, let's get this ball rocking and rolling, y'all. And shout out to my people, man. Salute to you all here in the chat. Appreciate you guys joining me here today. We're going to get this thing rocking and rolling. We got more information to come out here. But salute to you. Salute.
Carry on.
And carrying on, Major Pain. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Check my volume. Looks like you guys are hearing me just fine. All right. Okay. So, Brother Abraham, if you're still in the chat, you can join me in the queue. Just click the link to join. For the meantime, we're going to get this ball rocking and rolling. We're going to get started with Brother Jordan's testimony for now. Because I got quite a bit of information we need to go over, and honestly, tell you the truth, his testimony was absolute fire. So, like, he gave some real insight as to what's going on. But I also wanted to validate what he's saying, what his claims are. Let you guys know that honestly, when people give these testimonies, man, you gotta know. I don't care what's being said. You know that Dowell recently put out a video in regards to, oh, well, these people are going to say this, going to say that. They're not going to stop, blah, 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 blah. At some point, they'll lose their stamina, right? And eventually they'll stop talking about it. You know, they'll just go away, you know, at some point. And everything he has to say, right? It doesn't matter what it is. It's always backed by nothingness. It's always backed by no real tangible proof or evidence. You know, when you come to the Worship Podcast, y'all, I think that I've been priding myself in being very diligent as to what testimonies come out. And if I have receipts to be able to prove what the person is saying, I do the best that I can, right? But also, of course, backed up by other testimonies that also confirm what they're saying. Now, if we got a couple witnesses, then we can stand on truth. We can stand on facts. You know what I'm saying? You know, we got Brother Mike recently, the Honorable Brother Mike, who came on here and gave you guys a lot of gems. Dropped a lot of jewels. We know him as the first storm. You get what I'm saying? He dropped a lot of gems, a lot of jewels, a lot of truth bombs, right? Then we had Pastor Rufus recently, the Honorable Pastor Rufus, who broke down the facts within Elder Becker's video, right? In which Elder Becker's video was telling. You understand? It really confirmed a lot of what Pastor Rufus has been shouting for the past, almost 2 years now. The story has not changed. As well as, of course, he confirmed it. Elder Becker confirmed it in his testimony. You understand what I'm saying? Now, me personally, did I wish that he may have went into more details? Well, that might come in a later date, right? But, you know, he touched on what needed to be said, what needed to be touched on, what needed to be clarified based on what took place in Tennessee the day that they actually slandered and threw Pastor Rufus under the bus. So he righted a wrong in regards to participating in the lies and debauchery and all this other stuff, the fluff that took place, the dog and pony show. You understand what I'm saying? That took place in Tennessee when they held that meeting. Now, I just want to be frank. I want to shoot it straight down the middle. I want to be sure that, you know, when I'm talking plainly as possible. If I'm trying to find the right words, it's just because I don't want to offend, right? But trust me, if you want me to really tell you plainly, I can, and I can do so, and your feelings will be very hurt. But me personally, I've been praying, y'all. I've been praying. I've been asking the Father to bridle the tongue. I've been asking the Father to help me out in different ways to be sure that I'm not coming off as being offensive. And I'm doing the best that I can. You understand what I'm saying? But sometimes you got to just give it. You know what I mean? It's got to be served up, right? The way that the Father wants you to deliver it. And sometimes that is an offense to be able to convict you to want to go and study or read or go behind something, or at least try to find ways you can be able to correct me if I'm wrong on something, whatever it may be, right? Let it be what it may, right? But still, I respect you regardless as a person. You don't get the same thing when you join these particular cults. You don't get the same thing. What you get control, you get manipulation, you get coercion, you get sold down the river, you get your wife stolen from you, you get covetousness, you get all these other things. You get met with all of these different repercussions if you have a difference in opinion. And not only that, you get the same person who has reaped the atrocities, right, to say that they will never repent, they will never back down, and they'll never do anything to be able to remedy the facts. And I will never repent. Never repent. We had Elder Jim McClain who came on here and read his emails verbatim, y'all, and showing him exactly where his sin is. But that's still his same reply. He still, and I would never repent. Never repent. Never repent. And then he makes claims as though nobody's ever showed him his sin. But Elder Jim McClain blatantly read point for point the way that he exposed the sin. And you still got Dowell over here
None of
talking
it's
like
true.
this.
None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. It's a lie. You still got them explaining things, talking just like that, sounding just like that, trying to be soft-toned, right? And trying to deceive many in the way that he wants a perception of being meek, when we know that this man is far from being meek. You understand what I'm saying? All of us who know better know better. You understand what I'm saying? And the rest of y'all who are just showing up to the party, welcome in. Listen, you've arrived to the Worship Podcast, where we decide we want to just tell the truth, y'all. And if we get caught in a lie, we want to also repent and turn away from that lie. You understand what I'm saying? Welcome in. I'm glad that you finally have stumbled upon what the truth is about the individual that you've been watching, you've been listening to, who will claim that his voice is calling you to a newfound faith and religion or ministry. You know what I mean? That Yah allowed you to hear his voice through this man. You understand what I'm saying? When he's just hitting on the points that you failed to study. Let's be honest, right? You just failed to study it. You failed to study those points. And that's the reason why this is so enticing to you, right? So influencing to you. You understand what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and get into this testimony, y'all. Let's get into this testimony, because I got quite a bit that I want to share. Let's go. Let's get into it. Let me pull this thing up, because we got even more truth, even more lies to expose, right? In regards to this thing, because I can't continue to go on until we expose all the lies, until all the lies are out there in front, and we are able to validate the truth. The truth will always triumph over the lies. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get into this thing. Let's dive right into it.
All right, shalom, shalom to all the righteous of Israel. Somebody get this video to Pastor Dowell. Pastor Dowell, this video is directly for you, sir. I'm making this video because you had made a video talking about me. And so I'm doing my due diligence, and I do not want to have blood on my hands. So I'm making this video in response to what you had said about me. So this is what you said, Pastor Dowell.
Get on the internet. Now, the latest one is Brother Jordan. That used to be in Wisconsin. He gets out there and makes a GoFundMe and says he's been kicked out on the streets without any blase help or whatever else. What he's not telling you is he's not telling you that he was making shady deals as the head of Royal Interiors. He was making shady deals with some of the workers in order to embezzle more funds from the ministry. He's not telling you that. He's not telling you that we call him in that. Myself and Elder Kabir. He's not telling you some of the undermining stuff that he was doing. He's not telling you what was the latest, biggest one, that when he was on the job site and he had been removed from the head and Xavier is now the head. He's not telling you that when Elijah came over to separate them because they're on a professional job site trying to do a job, then things got escalated, that he went and grabbed a bucket.
The link is in the Discord app. If I message you in the Discord app, go back into the Discord app and click the link. To join. All right, let's continue.
And then Elijah.
So first, let me address this, right? I made the GoFundMe, or my team made the GoFundMe. I didn't physically, personally make it, but my team made the GoFundMe. So of course, that's the reason why you see Worship and Shepherd nonprofit. Worship and Shepherd nonprofit is associated with this because we actually started the GoFundMe on behalf of Brother Jordan. So let me clarify that, right? You know what I mean? What was said, the things that were said in it, yes, we verified it, whatever it may be. but it was posted by, of course, my team, myself and my team posted it. So, you know, I mean, we can throw out there anything we want to throw out there, but the truth is that's what it is. You know, we just decided to start it, you know, and, you know, get some things funded to where it could really help this brother out as well. As well as we got many more who are currently doing GoFundMe's, who need that extra assistance, who need that extra help, who need the extra hand of coming out of this system. Same thing with me myself. I've started a GoFundMe for the nonprofit itself, and the funding is what I'm looking to have it being kept real in track. But my thing is that people who are looking to start, people who are in Israel, who are looking to build, who are looking to develop business, who are looking to grow a company, whatever it may be. The idea is to fund that, to fund the people who are coming out, to help them transition, or to help people who are looking to do business startup, right? You know, the funds that will be utilized will be helping to build Israel ultimately, right? Ultimately to help build Israel. If somebody has an issues with bills, maybe we would have the resources allocated toward the bill that they need to have purchased or paid for, things like that. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a great way to band together, is to start a GoFundMe for them. So it's a Worship and Shepherd nonprofit, but we're going to continue on. I'll disclose the rest of the information if you feel compelled to give, or if you have it on your heart to want to give. And then of course we do sponsor, and so Jordan is one of the GoFundMe's who we sponsor it, as well as Pastor Rufus, his GoFundMe as well, which shout out to you guys because we're close to the $7,000 mark. Big ups to you guys for Pastor Rufus and his legal affairs, and helping him get through this legal battle, right, where he's fighting on the front lines when it comes to this wicked ministry. Shout out to Pastor Rufus, and shout out to you guys for donating. We're close to 7K, y'all. We're close to 7K for Pastor Rufus. I really want us to do better when it comes to Sister Ray. Her GoFundMe is up like 500 right now. If we can be able to help her out, of course, you know what I mean, focus on her GoFundMe and help her raise a little bit more funds so her and her family can be good. And as well, of course, we have Brother Jordan, which we still are looking to seek to hit the goal of 7,000. Okay. But you guys have done great. You have done great to donate so far. And honestly, it's been a beautiful journey and beautiful path. Honestly, I really appreciate you guys for taking the time out to actually care enough to donate some resources to these people who have come out of her, and actually who have come out of that wicked system, fleed that sinking ship, and now are looking to rebuild and start over. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue.
He's not telling you all that. He's not telling you that he lives up there at Straitway Praiseland, and all the dishonor and disrespect that he is. We got recordings of this stuff against Elder Kabir, against the brother, and you know, when people have a contrary spirit, it brings such a heaviness on the community.
All right.
Shout out to Wisco Pyro, man. Appreciate the donations. Thank you. Bless you, and shalom.
Said that, and I'm going to go to another place.
Oh, and everybody he can, including old Dufast. He said that's this one guy named David up there in Wisconsin. He wasn't even never part of the ministry. Hadn't heard from him in over 8, 9, 10 years. Jordan falls away. First thing he does is pick up the phone and call him. You know, Jordan gone. What business is that of his? Who cares?
All right, I'm gonna address the last part first. Now go back to the other stuff that you had said. So, David.
Massable. If you can you email me? Actually, can you email me? I would like to ask you a few questions. If you can, I'm gonna drop my email in the chat room real quick. I switched up my email, y'all, so you know. That way I can get you guys more priority, because I got a lot of junk mail that comes in through that email. So I'm getting my business email back out. So the business email would be ready to rock and roll. But I'm going to drop my email in here real quick, and I really would like for you to email me. Okay. I just got a few questions to ask. Hold on, wait. At Gmail. Okay. Okay, I dropped my email in there. So that should be it. All right. So bless you, bless you. Hold on, wait. I don't want okay. Okay. Remove. All right, y'all. Give me a sec real quick. Drop that. Um, I'm going to also here. Let me get the GoFundMe in the chat so you guys can have that. I see that we're asking about donations. Let me go ahead and add 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 a link. Add the link. You guys, I'm gonna add this link, and you guys should be able to see everyone. So you can just pick and choose who you like based on this link. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So we got it in the chat room. Okay, we dropped the link in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate your your giving hearts. Really appreciate it. If you feel led to go over there and show some everybody some love. I'm pretty sure they'll be very, very happy about that. You know, you'll definitely be blessing them. But let's continue, y'all. Let's continue. All right.
I'm assuming that you're talking about David Hill. I have not talked with this brother at all since I've left. I have not even talked with him since I've been in the ministry. I do not have his number. I haven't yet to call him, talk with him. So I don't know where you're getting that information from. It's a complete lie. I don't even know. Maybe you're talking about a different David. I don't know. I haven't talked with, I don't think, any David since I've left the ministry, besides Deacon David when he's asking about the phones that I still had, which I returned. As for the other stuff that you had brought up in the beginning, you had said that I was doing dirty deals and that I was embezzling funds from that community. And what I want to know is, what proof do you have of me doing that, sir? Because I have not embezzled any funds from that community that is up there. In fact, it's been the complete opposite, where I created a very prosperous business in the 4.5 years that I was over it. In fact, I even have text messages on my phone when I wanted to step down as being the head over Royal Interiors because of the manipulation that Kabir was doing. And that's the reason why I had messaged you about a month before I'd gotten kicked out, is because I wanted to talk with you personally about the bullshit and the stuff that's going on at that community. And people might say, well, what kind of stuff did you want to talk about? Well, ask Erdem. He's down there. Ask him how he was treated there. Ask him about.
Now, one thing I really want to do, y'all, is when it comes to a lot of this stuff, man, listen, I'm looking forward to having Jordan on to the Worship Podcast. I know that some people have definitely requested for he and I to do a live stream. And honestly, I wanted to be at the right time. But I do have a few questions in regards to this, and especially when it comes to their claims of theft or embezzling funds. You know, of course, I know that they will lie through their teeth, but I really got questions about Kabir and Kabir actually doing the manipulation, right? I'm not too surprised. You understand what I'm saying? But I want to know more about that. I wanted to dive a little more into it because I got reports from people who knew Kabir before Straitway, right? And said that this man is a totally different man from what we know him to be now. That he was like more of a giving type of person, more of a giving, caring type of person. I think that's the reason why they really wanted him to be a candidate to run for governor. You know, but now it seems like he's totally flipped a leaf and he's totally different. Now he's more like his servant or more like his master, right? Dowell. He's more like his master now, right? Whereas to where he's developing these habits and these traits of being a liar, you know, a manipulator, a gaslighter, things like that. So I got a lot of questions about that and other things, and I would love to invite them on and have them on. Not only that, I've had my team reach out to Eileen, and I think we're going to beat down the doors of Eileen. She's got her book that she recently published, and I'm hoping to land an interview with Eileen and see if she can come on and talk to you all. about her experience, what she saw, things like that. Y'all just pray about it, because I think that'll be a blessing for a lot of people to be able to be set free, to hear her testimony. Somebody who had to jump ship before anything. You understand what I'm saying? Before she got caught up and wound up in anything. So we've reached out to Eileen, and yeah, you already know, Team Eileen, you know. So we've reached out. We want to see if we can get some good, viable interviews that will help with people being set free. So I got a few questions. We're gonna get that rocking and rolling too.
His testimony of how Praiseland was, because we want to talk about this stuff, and there's absolutely zero proof. And the word says, "Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor." Okay. And so the reason why I'm bringing this video is I don't want to have blood on my hands. And that's why I'm bringing this video out, because the only thing that I could possibly think of where you might have some proof is if Kabir fabricated stuff, because he does have a tendency to lie. And you don't believe that he has a tendency to lie? He just called my old boss who taught me how to plaster a couple days ago. And you know what he was saying to him? He said that my sister and also my in-laws had been calling him, asking about my well-being since I had been kicked out of that ministry. And he was asking Brent a whole bunch of questions. Where am I at? What am I doing for money? How did I get this vehicle? Stuff like that, under the guise that he's trying to give the information to these people who are concerned. So you know what I did the next day that I found out about that information? Because my old boss called me and told me that the next day, because Kabir called him at 11 o'clock at night, a working man at 11 o'clock at night, to ask him these questions. Why is Kabir worried about me? Why does he want to know what I'm doing? I'm not a part of the ministry. I'm not part of that community. So what does what I have to do with anything? And but
so
then
I want to say this, guys. The checking in, the following up, the pressing. What's going on? What is he doing now? Where is he living? Where is he at? It really does give, like, old school cult vibes that that come from Scientology. You know what I mean? They want to keep track of where you're at. It's an unhealthy relationship that's kind of like stalkerish. You get what I'm saying? Really stalking the person, because they know that you have secrets. They know that you have things that took place, that you've endured, that you suffered through, and this right here can be damage to a reputation. But they also want to see if they have been effective in their judgment or punishment towards you, right? Are you suffering? It gives somebody a great level of satisfaction to know that when they did what they did to you, that you're suffering. You get what I'm saying? So they take pride in it, and it's like a level of satisfaction, right? To where it's like they know now that you're suffering. Yes, he's suffering. He's nothing without me, and it's a narcissistic trait. Okay. It's not a thing, because a narcissist want to know that based on what they've done to your life, that you are now in a bad spot, that you can't be nothing without them, that you're absolutely nothing without them. Excuse the beeping. That this is what's taking place. This is just a power move, a power play, to be able to see if they had a real effect over trying to destroy you. Right. And I'm glad that we all came together, banded together, and gave him and raised at least $2,600 for him to be able to make some decisions with. I know it helped him out in the time of need. And so bless you all who had the heart to give, regardless on what you believe he may have done, regardless on what mistakes he may have made. We still are tasked to love one another and find a heart of forgiveness, right? Find a place of forgiveness for one another. He's come out, he's told his testimony now. He's made it right, called people behind the scenes, myself included, and told and made amends with us all, right? And so I see that as a respectful thing, respectably, right? To come out and then now receive help from the public. And that's just kind of what I see. But we all still got to have a heart to forgive and be in a space to forgive. So, so everybody who had an innate heart to say, you know what, despite the transgression, I'm still going to want to see this brother be in a great spot. Man, bless y'all. Bless you well. All right, so but that's some of the things that I want to touch on is the level of just satisfaction that somebody is suffering. You get what I'm saying? And it's sad. It's sad to say.
Says that my sister called him, so I called my sister. My sister has been getting surgery on her sinuses, and she's been out for I don't know how many days, laying in bed trying to recover. I called my father-in-law, which I had personally seen about a week prior to this conversation that he had. And he's saying Kabir hasn't talked with him at all. So it's just flat out lies that Kabir is telling these people in order to gain information from me. And so the reason why I stepped down from Royal Interiors is because I got tired of the manipulation that Kabir was doing. And the reason why he was doing the manipulation on me was because of the fact that I didn't want to sign that covenant socialist slave doctrine that he wanted everybody to sign. And so because I didn't want to sign that, he started making my life extremely difficult. And out of his own mouth, and he should be able to testify this, and I have it on recording, that he said out of his own mouth, I was intentionally causing confusion within the business. Now we know that Yah is not the author of confusion. So what spirit is that that's causing confusion in the business that I'm running that's been profitable for the last 4.5 years? Do you realize that while I was over it, we grossed almost $1 million in the 4.5 years that I was there. It's over 900,000. It's pretty dang close to $1 million. We profited over $600,000 with that business. And you're going to say that I'm doing dirty deals? You're going to say that I'm embezzling funds? Where's the money at? Where's the proof? Now, I would just put my bank statements out here and show all of you, but you guys probably wouldn't believe that either. You'd probably say, well, he's got a different bank account, or he's getting it this way. I'm not.
He is on such a great point. When Dowell talks, when Dowell speaks, he can take a deep breath and he's lying. I've seen somebody put that in my comment section. Dowell can take a deep breath and he's lying, literally. You know what I mean? Like through his teeth. And every single time he speaks on a situation or a matter, he never provides any receipts. He never provides any tangible proof or evidence that you can be able to stand on, like solid ground. You can stand on. None of them provides any true receipts. None of them do. They all just duck, right? They all duck. They all run. There's nothing that they can. There's no paperwork. There's nothing to back them up. You even caught them lying about Pastor Rufus and his rap sheet or record. They pulled up some record. And then, you came to Worship Podcast. We had to kind of expose it. You got some other channels as well, Brainwaves and others who also pulled up some information in regards to nothing being there. It's all fake and fluff, right? And it's also that he can be able to deceive the minds of the listening audience, right? The people who's just discovering his channel, who's just discovering him, right? So he can deceive you all into believing that whatever position he holds is the correct position, right? Because he knows for a fact that he's got your mind so warped. He's got you under such a witchcraft. I think Sister Ray said it put it really nicely, that he has a way of manipulating your reality, right? To where it's like he's a master manipulator. He has a way of bending and warping and twisting the reality and shaping it as you know it. And you don't go behind and test anything that he's saying because you're just so trusting of the individual, right? And so this is what he's done. He'll put it out there, just toss it out there and see what sticks. And there is no real tangible proof and evidence. He just tosses things out there, just as he did with Jordan here. Just throws it out there real quick. But we're going to still bring some actual receipts here today. So y'all get prepared. Y'all buckle up. We're going to still bring some actual receipts as he continues to just spew rhetoric, right? We all know that it's BS, right? It's nothing to back it up. That's tangible proof and evidence.
I like you people. I'm not embezzling. So if you're thinking that in your mind, maybe you're the one that's doing that. That's what I start thinking, because you said, Pastor Dowell, the people pointing the fingers, start looking at them. So when I'm being accused of stuff that I have not done, I'm start looking at the people who are accusing me, who are saying these things. The word says, thou shalt not bear false witness. It says in Sirach 11:7, it says, do not find fault before you investigate. Examine first and then criticize. In Sirach chapter 13, 3-7, it says, a rich person does wrong and even adds insults. A poor person suffers wrong and must apologize. A rich person will exploit you if you can be of use to him. But if you are in need, he will abandon you. If you own something, he will live with you and he will drain your resources without a calm. When he needs you, he will deceive you and will smile at you and encourage you. He will speak to you kindly.
All right. Oops. I'm doing a lot, y'all, and streaming at the same time. Hey, man, shout out to Brother Boston, man. Listen, I got to get me a new processor, man. I got to get me a new core processor. He's an actual
and say, what do you need? He will.
He does work on actual computers and stuff like that. Man, I gotta get me a processor. I gotta get things moving fast. You get what I'm saying? And not lagging when I'm doing stuff, because I'm doing stuff and you see what happens. You know what I mean? If I'm doing a little too much at once. But shout out to Brother Boss. So I'm gonna link up with you. I gotta give you a call, my brother.
Brace you with his delicacies until he has drained you 2 or 3 times, and finally he will laugh at you. Should he see you afterwards, he will pass you by and shake his head at you. Sirach, same chapter 13, verse.
Yes, I am on a desktop. Shout out to my brother SD. Well, appreciate your donations, my brother. If you have discernment, you can tell Jordan is being honest here. My only request to Jordan, Elder Becker, etc., is that they formally renounce the prior videos they did promoting Straitway. I don't believe that that's a bad request. I think that that's a very solid request. I mean, it's not a demand. It's not like you're saying that they're required, but you know, it's a suggestion. It's a, hey, you probably should denounce that. Because, you know, and then even in this video with Jordan, you can see the literal chains being lifted off of him as he's describing these things, as he's going through his testimony, talking about this. You can see that he's being set free from the manipulation, from the witchcraft, from the hindrance of wanting to speak on wickedness and unrighteousness, things that they're literally lying on him about. But I don't believe that that is a bad request. I think that that's a pretty fair request. But shout out to you, brother. Appreciate your donations. Appreciate your donation. Bless you. Let's continue.
18 through 24 says, what peace is there between a hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? Wild asses in the wilderness are the prey of lions. Likewise, the poor are feeding grounds for the rich. Humility is an abomination to the proud. Likewise, the poor are an abomination to the rich. When the rich person totters, he is supported by his friends. But when the humble falls, he is pushed away even by his friends. If the rich person slips, many come to the rescue. He speaks unseemly words, but they justify him. If the humble person slips, they even criticize him. He talks sense, but he is not given a hearing. The rich person speaks, and all are silent. They extol to the clouds what he says. The poor person speaks, and they say, who is this fellow? And should he stumble, they even push him down. Riches are good if they are free from sin, and poverty is evil only in the opinion of the ungodly. And I'm going to read another one. Sirach chapter 19, 10 through 17. If you got to take this in doses, I know this generation has a very hard time with attention span, so go ahead and do that.
Oh, man, listen. Shots fired, yo. Shots fired. Hey, my thing is this, right? It's the truth, man. Come on. Y'all gotta know, like, come on now. You know, shout out. Let's go.
In Sirach 19, chapter 10, it says, have you heard something? Let it die with you. Be brave, it will not burst you. Having heard something, the fools suffer birth pains like a woman in labor with a child. Like an arrow stuck in a person's thigh, so is gossip inside of a fool. The gossip in this ministry is literally off the chain. There'll be times when I'm going to the feast and people will literally come up to me and say, did you hear about this, brother?
Hey, what I've been saying, y'all. What I've been saying. We got another witness here talking about the gossip, talking about the level of gossip, talking about how people just behind the scenes run their mouth. I mean, this is the truth. It's a silent killer of your salvation. It's the talk. Listen, you want to do the talk of the town. We just got done exposing faking gay for adhering to gossip, right? Adhering to gossip in regards to my mother. Gossip that's been being spread around throughout Straitway. It didn't come from a Christian church. The gossip that was about my mother didn't come from a Christian church. It wasn't a Christian pastor or somebody Christian grandma who attended church service and goes after over Sunday brunch was discussed. No, that came from a so-called Hebrew Israelite camp that supposed to be understanding that gossip is a sin, who's supposed to not be adhering to gossip or spreading gossip or rumors, right? And it's gossip when you sit here and you're talking bad about somebody behind their back and you're not bringing it to that brother. Now, when you're saying this out in the open, the person has an opportunity to hear what you're saying, especially if you're tagging them in it. They have an opportunity to hear what you're saying and address what you're saying, and also not only address it, but they have an opportunity to repent or to address you for it. They have an opportunity for something to be done. It means that you're actively pursuing a remedy for that individual and their problem. But when you talking bad about somebody behind their back, hey, you heard about this brother, and then you go and proceed to act weird and strange about him in his face, guess what you just got done doing? You just got done sinning. You just got done being a minister of Satan. You get what I'm saying? Satan has ministers too, and those ministers like to gossip. You understand what I mean? They're gossipers. So that is the minister of Satan, right? Where everything's out in the open is totally different. You have an opportunity to address it. Right? Ain't nobody talking trash about you behind your back. Still saying it regardless, out in your face, out into your ears, delivering the message to you. So I've been saying it for quite some time. The gossip in Straitway, the gossip that takes place in Israel, Hebrew, whatever it may be, is absolutely off the chain. It is off the chain. And it is honestly worse than the Christian church, because you be gossiped about. Nobody will come to you and try to get you to repair it, fix it, or redeem yourself. And then you'll be given a bad name and treated like absolute trash, right? At least in the Christian church, they'll just act like they don't know shit, right? At least they'll just pretend, right? At least they'll pretend. Maybe they won't let you fellowship, on a personal level, but at least they'll pretend and allow you to just walk away whenever it's necessary. When you leave a Christian church and they wonder why does everybody want to talk about Straitway? Why, when they left a Christian church, they didn't go out and start making videos? Well, listen, when you left a Christian church, nobody blasted you for it. Nobody talked bad about you out in the open over on the internet waves. Nobody did any of those things. You didn't invest your hard-earned money into a Christian church to where you sold your life savings and in order to move on one of their communities. You didn't do that. You didn't commit yourself to something that you believe was such the truth, right? That had so much truth in it, right? You committed yourself to this truth. You committed yourself in serving to serving Yah. You did all this dedication, right? For it all to be turning out to be a lie. And the person that you thought was in the truth, right? The person you thought was bringing you the truth, that stood on business, that was about integrity, whatever it may be, that individual turned out to be an absolute liar, right? And a false and fictitious person, right? A wolf in sheep's clothing, right? He turned out to be a total and complete lie. And so it affects you differently when you believe you found Yah's chosen people. When you believe that the pages of the Bible were jumping off in reality as you knew it, right? Only to later find out that you've been sold into man worship, idolatry, and all these other things. You don't get that from a Christian church, right? You don't get it to where you witnessed a so-called pastor or leader, right? A so-called shepherd, a so-called man of Yah takes another man's wife and nobody bats an eye. Nobody raises a fuss. You don't get it to where it's like you see this same man, right, who's supposed to be a leader in Israel, tell you that you can't wear your Nikes no more because of the check sign got something demonic about it or rooted in it, and then goes behind and starts wearing a trident on his hat and start to have people sacrifice their very flesh, their very body, to earn a trident pendant, right, with wings, and it says sold in Covetous, and other gods are being placed in the sight of the Most High Yah. You did not witness these things in the Christian church, so your level of investment is totally different when you witnessed it firsthand to something that turned out to be completely dishonest and a lie, no truth in it. Not only that, when you learned more about the scriptures, guess what the scriptures call you to do after you've witnessed this? It calls you to speak up. It calls you to judge it righteously and to speak out, right? Pursuant to Proverbs 31:9. For the poor and the needy, for people who need to hear this message, for the poor, the ones who got the gospel preached to them. So you got a different condemnation on your hands. Now you got to speak up according to Leviticus 5:1, where you got to show the iniquity, or you will bear the iniquity on yourself. You yourself, if you don't speak out against the atrocity, against the sin, you yourself will also be held fully accountable for you not speaking up. So now it's totally different. It's been a shift. It's been a shift. So yeah, you damn right we speaking up. You right, we're speaking out. Yes, this man right here on this screen has the right to speak on the topic and matter, because if you're going to drag his name through the filth, why wouldn't he want to come and defend his name, defend his own honor, defend his integrity, defend his hard work? 4 years building a viable business that grossed nearly $1 million in revenue. You understand what I'm saying? Why wouldn't he want to defend that? Whatever legacy he left behind. And I know it's got to be heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching, and it's got to be heartbreaking to know that you blood, sweat, and tears sacrificed for so many people, so many individuals, for them to just spit on you and shit on you and take a piss, right, on your name after you've been kicked out, removed, or whatever it may be, to sit there and just lie after you've done so much and received so little in return. This is the reason why people speak out. The Christian church don't need to listen. They're doing their stuff. They're dirting in the private, right? And they don't choose to come out and slander people publicly. Dowell's choosing to do so. Not only that, he's built his ministry based on this internet platform, YouTube, based on shortwave radio, right? Before YouTube, right? So guess what the court of public opinion needs to be? Right here on YouTube. It needs to be out here in the public, on a public forum, in the public platform. We don't have a space where he can be able to hold and be held accountable, right? He's too busy not repenting for anything. He's too busy denying and being in denial about everything that we claim that he's doing wrong.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
We making everything up while we're providing all this tangible proof and evidence, all these receipts, things that are filed in public record. We're doing all of that stuff, right? And we're going to continue to do it, right? Because guess what? You're going to get the truth. I don't give a damn what you're going to listen. And all you're getting, you're going to get the understanding. You're going to get the truth. My thing is this, right? I don't mind finding receipts. I don't mind validating somebody's testimony with 2 or more witnesses. My thing is that I've had public records and I've had information that I've sat on for quite some time. In fact, a lot of the team over on Discord, we've done research in regards to Praise Land and its so-called deacon. But let's continue to hear what he has to say in regards to this, all right? And we're going to come upon that right now. Let's continue.
I mean, it's unbelievable, especially Kabir. He has called my former boss and literally gossiped to him.
Shout out to Warrior Woman. Welcome to the membership. Welcome to the family, the War Sheep Warriors. Welcome to the family. As War Sheep Nation, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. Man, we're gonna see you in there. I gotta get back up on my my members only thing. And honestly, I got some things scheduled coming up. My schedule's been full, y'all. I've been on full signal, brother Mike. I've been on full signal, y'all. So I've been drowning out the noise. I've been going full signal and being sure that I'm pumping out as much as I can, as well as, keeping track with other things. But let's go. Let's get into it. Bless you. Thank you for joining the membership.
About me. Kabir has slandered me in front of the whole community for hours. And I've literally just sat there with my hand over the mouth. Ask Erdem. He was there the one time. Wow. And I stood up and I did not defend myself. He said, you can come up here and talk. I didn't defend myself at all. Ask the brothers that were there. And you can ask the brothers that were there too why I stepped down from Royal and Tears. Because they were all there when Kabir said, I don't even want Jordan to step down. So if I'm embezzling funds, if I'm doing dirty deals, if I'm doing that stuff on the side, why? It's not even in my judgment. That's what's crazy. When I got kicked out, it's not even there. If I was embezzling funds, don't you think that it should be in there? I didn't even know about this, that it was even a possibility until I see this video. It's just crazy. The word says, question a friend. Perhaps he did not do it. Or if he did, so that he might not do it again. Question a neighbor. Perhaps he did not say it. Or if he said it, so that he may not repeat it. Question a friend, for often it is slander. So do not believe everything you hear. A person may slip without intending it, and who has not sinned with his tongue? Question your neighbor before you threaten him, and let the law of the Most High take its course.
Now, I want to say that when he laid out the scriptures for you all at the same time, I commend him for it. Honestly, tell you the truth, because right here, when he says that you need to question this friend, you need to figure it out. It might be slander. You got to know for a fact that all of this stuff, the talebearing, the slandering, the gossiping, this is all done in the private. So the individual that you're talebearing about, the one that you're slandering, the one that you're gossiping about, this individual knows nothing about what you're saying. They know nothing about what you're spreading around about their reputation. They know nothing about it, and they will continue to know nothing about it, because you'll be like, oh, well, yeah, don't say nothing, but this, that, and the third. So now you're placing the onus on the person you're telling to bear your iniquity, to bear your sin, while you're sitting there running your mouth and chattering and gossiping about another brother, another sister, whatever it may be, damaging their reputation. This is what the Most High hates. But it is not when you say it in public formats, public forum, no matter what it is publicly, for that individual to hear what you said, to know what you're talking about. That is not slandering. That is not gossiping. That is not none of that stuff. You have an opportunity to address the accusations. You have an opportunity to hear what people are saying about you. You have an opportunity to repent for it, to come up and speak about it personally. That's the reason why I don't block you. I don't care if you're in my chat and you disagree with my position. Listen, I don't block you. You know why I don't block you? Because I'm a man of truth. I stand on business, and I don't mind hearing your truth. I don't mind hearing what you got to say, but make sure you bring your receipts. Don't get out here and talking like Dowell, right? Running your mouth without any tangible proof and evidence to back up your claims. You don't have anything, then keep your mouth shut. Stay over there, do what you got to do until you can provide receipts as to what your claims are, right? If you said this man was embezzling funds, guess what you need to do? You need to provide the receipts in regards to those funds being transferred from whatever account to his personal account. And this is how he was embezzling those funds. We don't need anything that's been doctored up. We don't need anything that's fake and fictitious. We need tangible things, tangible proof and evidence that lines up with what he can be able to identify and also testify to, right? We need the proper bank statements, the proper banking information to validate your claims. Don't get out here and start just running your mouth, okay? And not have any real tangible proof and evidence. And that's all I'm saying. We want to say this, always just this, it's always just that, brushing it off, right? Hey, you got every opportunity, Kabir, to get up here and defend yourself. Where you left this man no opportunity to defend his own honor when you slandered his name behind his back and start saying all these different things about him embezzling funds, manipulating the situation. Then you go up there and berate him around, right? And then demean his character in front of everybody. No wonder there was the sense of loyalty was removed. You understand what I'm saying? The sense of loyalty and commitment was removed, because you would have no problems with manipulating the space in order to paint him as being an enemy to the community. Instead of hearing the brother out, you prefer them to just follow blindly, right? Shout out to brother SD. Wrap your mind around this fact. We are here because of Dowell's jealousy and lust to destroy Pastor Rufus. That's right. If you look at his eyes, you can see the hatred. Dowell blames PEB for everything. That's absolutely true. Everything that's collapsed in his life, he's blaming Pastor Rufus. Definitely blaming him. And honestly, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Salute to you. Appreciate you. The second donation for the day. Bless you well. Bless you well. Let me go and get you salute.
Carry on.
And carrying on Major Pain. Bless you. That listen, he is standing on speaking on them facts. All right, let's continue. There's one more
Pastor,
thing.
when I had messaged you, I wanted to talk about the bullshit that was.
All right. Oh. Oops. Okay. Let me try that again. Yeah. All right.
Its course. Pastor, when I had messaged you, I wanted to talk about the bullshit that was going on at Straitway Praise Land. The manipulation. I wanted to tell you about stuff that I guarantee Kabir hasn't told you about. The stuff where he's messaging heathen women, wishing them happy birthdays. And I got it I got it screenshotted. This woman sent it to me, asking me, what in the world is this guy doing? Wishing me a happy birthday, asking about how old she is, asking about her nationality, all this stuff. Why? Because he wants to get in her pants. That's why. Why aren't we talking about the fact that there's a deacon up there who's crashing vehicles because he's drunk all day and goes and nearly kills himself on the highway? We're having to go and look for the brother, look to see where he's at. And finally, an officer calls me and says he's at this hospital, almost died. And then the same deacon, he gets with Jocelyn, one of the Hughes daughters. He sleeps with her. The Hughes leave the faith. Then she goes and sleeps with an ex-boyfriend, doesn't tell David. She comes back up there. They get officially married. He sleeps with her again, I'm guessing, finds out that she's pregnant. Then he finds out that she had committed adultery on him. And you know what Deacon was going to do? Deacon was going to hide the fact that that adultery had happened if that child would have been his, bringing a curse onto the land from what it says in Deuteronomy chapter 24. This is the stuff that they don't tell you about, and that's the stuff that's going on at Praise Land.
Absolutely. And here we are. Let's go ahead and pull some receipts in regards to this so-called deacon, Mr. David. Mr. David. Shout out to Brother Odell. Shout out to Brother Daniel for pulling these receipts. Listen, I'm going to tell you this much. What I'm about to show you guys, I've had this for over a year, I believe. I've had this information for 6 months. I've had this information for 6 months. And I'm just telling you based on because I want you to understand when I'm presenting something to you, I'm not presenting it to you out of fluff. I'm not presenting it to you because there's no merit to it. I'm not presenting it to you because I just want to bash somebody. I'm not presenting it to you because I just want the satisfaction of talking trash. You get what I'm saying? Or talking. No, I'm not presenting to you for any other reason than it needs to be validated proof and tangible proof and evidence. And which this testimony he's giving me about this particular deacon, right? I've had quite a bit of information on this particular guy. You understand what I'm saying? Some of it was done way back in about 2009, where he has a certain record back in 2009. But, I felt, well, that's back then. He might have repented for it and turned a new leaf. But honestly, tell you the truth, no, no, he hasn't. I mean, because honestly, he has even more things that are going on as recent as 2024. Right, as to where he's been found guilty or pleaded no contest in a situation, right? And so we can't say that necessarily that the repentance has shown forth fruit. But when he mentions that he has gotten to a car accident, right? He's wrecked his car. He's supposed to be a leader in this ministry. He's supposed to be a deacon in this ministry. There's no repercussions. There is no repercussions. There is nothing being done in regards to these leaders who are not being a very good example, who are setting poor examples. These are the type of men that you're left with in regards to this ministry and that you'd have to understand. Let's go ahead and get into this thing real quick. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, let's get it. Boom. So this is, I want you guys to see what I'm looking at here. Okay. This is an article from Highland Park, right? As you can see, it says what Wisconsin man charged over two guns, cannabis found in car, right? And so this is not Deacon. This is not David. This is not David here. Okay, but I'm letting you know that this is a real website here that I have, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys exactly what he's talking about when he said that this deacon has gotten into an accident, right? David has gotten into an accident, right? Nearly killed himself in the hospital, and there is absolutely nothing that people are doing about it. He has not faced any repercussions. There was no stripping of the title. Ain't you supposed to be spotless or blameless if you're a deacon? What's the word say, right? Shouldn't you be found spotless? Shouldn't you be found blameless if you're going to be in a position of leadership? And if you're not spotless, if you're not blameless, then why are you still in this position? Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got. As you can see, Highland Park Police. I'm just going to show you guys here. Scroll on down, and we're going to get to the point where it's going to tell us about the arrests and citations that were made. And I want you guys to know the date is really important. Let me scroll back up. Let me get back up here. The date is extremely important. The date is August 8th of 2022. Y'all see that? It's right there, right? August 8th, 2022 is when this took place. Okay, so that was a few years ago. That was recent, very recent. Okay, so let's scroll on back down. And we're going to go into arrest that was recently made, as well as arrest and citations. And so they post this on this website. And so, boom, okay. Arrest and citations, as you can see right here, we're in arrest and citations. There's multiple different people that they have listed here that they arrested that day of August 8th, 2022. Oh, and we have, this is him here, Deacon Robert Cardenas. Okay. This is David Robert Cardenas. And as you can see, 34 years old. Okay. 34 years old, Deacon Robert Cardenas. Okay. 34 years old. Of course, 31 block, Martin Lane, Rolling Meadows, was arrested after 2:30 a.m. following a traffic stop at Green Bay Road, right, and Glenview Avenue. He was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol and driving under the influence of alcohol with a breathalyzer, alcohol concentration level of 0.08 or greater, and issued a citation for that as well, for impaired lane usage. Okay, so this is already listen, we're gonna back it up and validate what he's saying with tangible proof and evidence. This is tangible proof and evidence that this particular so-called deacon David recently in 2022 almost did kill himself, and he could have killed someone else. He was under the influence of alcohol, driving while intoxicated, right? And his alcohol levels was 0.08. This dude was drinking under the table. He was litty. But this is not what they're not gonna show you these things, right? Because you got Dowell, who's in literally on Drunk Talk, slamming back one Johnny Walker Blue Label after another, one beer after another, slamming them back, trying to balance it out. I'm gonna drink this alcohol and balance it out with some beer real quick. You get what I'm saying? So they don't speak about drunkardness. They don't speak about this. Why didn't he blast this deacon, right? Why didn't he blast this particular deacon David out there in the public and talk about the situation here, so all of Israel can be able to learn from this mistake? But instead, he wishes to blast men so he can be able to take their wives. If he has eyes on the wife, he's gonna ream your ass and blast you out there in open format. Instead, he wishes to sneak this certain pastors who's looking to help him along in his journey, who's just looking to point out some sin or looking for him to improve in what he's doing so he can tighten up. He would prefer to sneak this Pastor Rufus, right, and say certain things to sneak diss him, not call his name directly. Why didn't he do that with Deacon? Why didn't he do that with David? Why didn't he blast that out there? Right? Why didn't he blast it out there? This is something for people to learn from. Not only that, this deacon should have been spotless. He should be blameless. These people in leadership, as well as Daniel Muir, they should be spotless and they should be blameless. They should not be showing examples, right, to where they're beating children senseless, right, so near death. They shouldn't be showing examples of them driving under the influence of alcohol, nearly killing themselves and someone else if they were in harm's way. You know, when he says things like, okay, well, you can't pick the time and hour when evil wants to visit itself upon you. Are you talking about your own leadership? Because this is wicked. This is evil. You not speaking against drunkardness has produced what? Your leadership to be drunkards. You making it okay to go out and get plastered and to get drunk off your rear end, right? To where you're just spewing whatever out your mouth, calling women out their name, calling them bitches out on your platform, calling them disingenuous bitches out on your platform. Too many drinks. You got deacons who are doing things like this. You got David, who's out here nearly killing himself and potentially could have killed someone else. How irresponsible is this? And of course, you got, Kabir, who's extremely irresponsible. He sent Jordan on a dummy mission, had him armed to the teeth with extra magazines and knives to a Christmas program for a school, for a Christian school. Sent them on a bogus mission, just trying to send a message to Ron Young in that area, trying to send a message saying that I got hitters and my hitters is going to be white. Or if I send them at you, they'll go. They'll put their life on the line for me. You understand what I'm saying? This is what you got to face. This is what you got. This is what you're looking at. Yes, it was a bogus mission. It was a bogus mission, and he knew exactly what he was attempting to do. He knew exactly what he wanted them to do. He set them up that day. He set them up. His heart's intent was to send them a message to say, hey, I got control. I got control. I am still in control. I am still that guy. That's what it was. That's what the message was. And he sure wanted to deliver that message, did he not? He sure did.
Now, the commitment, the love that I see here at Straitway is off the freaking chain. I got two brothers that was willing to fall on the sword for me. For me. Not one single Christian would have ever done that for me. Not one. But my brothers was willing. I had to even stop one brother and say, just cooperate, because I can't stand you being in there. I want to get you out. And I was able to get information in there to let him do stand down. Stand down. I appreciate, but stand down. He was willing to be there for 3 or 4 days, whatever it took. And when I gave him the word, he stand down and gave them what they needed so he can get.
And when he gave him the word, listen to the power play. Listen to the level of power he's drunk with power, drunk with that authority. This is the reason why his character has changed from the moment Eileen left him. And he was just this slop of mess who's looking to end his own life, who's looking to self-delete. After that, guess what? He pulled himself into what? Being a tyrant, pulling himself into this level of drunkard of power, drunk off the power, drunk off the authority, to be able to tell a man to go in there fully armed with extra magazines and a knife. And then, I had to give the orders for them to stand down. I had to do that. And then not only that, you tell them before you send these two young men in here, right? Which, I mean, honestly, shout out to Brother Jordan. Listen, brother, you're a ginger. You're a ginger. I don't know if you heard it on TikTok yet. You're technically black, bro. But either way, you send these two white boys there, right? Are Europeans. Shout out to all, you send them there, and you send them there on a bogus mission, and you tell them whatever. This was a power play, drunk off of power, drunk off of whatever he's got going on with this Straitway, and now he's fully on this Dowell type of movement. I can do this. See what type of power I have, like a mob boss, like he's Nino Brown or somebody. You understand what I'm saying? And then you trash the same brother that went there and put his life on the line for you. You could have literally got shot and killed. You understand what I'm saying? He could have literally been facing some serious time. You shat on him. Brought him before all of the community. Shat on him some more. Let's continue.
Those are my brothers. And I would do the same for them.
Would you?
Never. I'm telling you, being part of Straitway, I've never experienced any type of loyalty to Yah, to each other. The love to be willing to die for one another.
To die for him. To be willing to die for him. Let's keep that correct in its proper context. The love and the willingness to die for Kabir. The willingness to put their life on the line for Kabir. The show of loyalty. It wasn't for the Most High. The Most High wouldn't have sent them on this bogus mission, armed to the teeth. He wouldn't have sent them there The father is much wiser than that.
Another. One has never even been in jail before and was willing to do everything. Can you believe that? 2 Caucasian brothers went to jail and the black one got to walk free. That part was comical to be.
So you know the intent of his heart when he speaks about this, because before he even sent them there, he called them and said, hey, you shouldn't be afraid of me. This is Kabir talking to this congregation, talking to Ron Young over there, saying, hey, you shouldn't be afraid of me. You should be afraid of white boys because they're the ones who shoot up schools. How offensive is that? That is extremely offensive. And it's very telling, because next thing you know, you send 2 European brothers, 2 white brothers, to the same location, armed to the teeth. Black people can be racist too, I guess. You understand what I'm saying? That's very racially biased. And my thing is that, you know, it's just very distasteful. My thing is that I don't see how people got a mindset like this, right? To be able to try to fabricate a situation, right? And you design this. He's even asking, should we? And not only that, they're in court when Ron Young speaks about this, right? You can tell that Jordan had no clue that's what Kabir said, told them before he even sent them on this bogus mission. That has got to be an eye opener for you, to know the intent of a man's heart, to send you into a situation where you can be harmed, where your safety is in jeopardy because they made a very poor and unsound decision. Did he rebuke Kabir? In fact, they got applauded for it. They got applauded for it. They got applauded to send these 2 brothers in these situations, right? To where, yeah, openly, there was no real rebuke. Behind closed doors, maybe they talked to him about it. Oh, it probably wasn't the best choice to make. Okay. Now, later he goes on to say, right, in another one of Jordan's testimony, he says, when have you ever seen Kabir actually working? Well, of course, if you're rich, then guess what? You get favoritism. If you're somebody's sugar daddy, sugar baby, then of course you're not going to have to work. Why would you? I mean, you're sugar daddy, sugar baby. That's what your job is to do. Your job is to be sugar daddy, sugar baby. And that just is what it is. But you want to go forth and talk about a man who's helped you build your ministry, helped you shed good light, a great light on your ministry, You talk about he wants to overthrow you, then why would he continue to put your ministry's name out there? Why would he keep wanting to be sure that his family is a great example to show forth that Straitway is one of the places to be? Why would he train his family and continue to have his family walk in a great light to represent Straitway well if he wanted to overthrow you, take over, all this other stuff? I mean, wouldn't he just want to push his own? Wouldn't he just want to say, yeah, we service of Yah? Instead of saying, hey, well, Straitway Truth Ministries, you need to go talk to Dowell. He spoke highly of you while he was there. You talk about him like a dog, almost as though he don't do any work at all. Well, that leads me to believe, like, listen, you're talking to Kabir too. You're talking to Kabir because he doesn't do anything. He don't even want to show up for judgments, right? I rebuked the fire out of Kabir for this, told him he was 100% wrong for sending those brothers to that school armed. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it's Dowell's job to to rebuke him openly for the whole congregation so we all can learn. But he's too stuck on rebuking people like Brother Allen because he wants to take his second wife, right? He's too stuck following his own agenda, right? As to who he picks and chooses to want to rebuke based on what he wants to acquire from them. Not necessarily this right here, where you see that obviously, you got a deacon here, right? Who obviously has done some wickedness, as you can see. Listen, definitely crashed. We got more. This is not it. This is not it. We got even more. I believe he caught a few other charges that night too. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Okay. Maybe he was trying to self-delete? And that's what I'm trying to understand, because what I'm trying to understand more about, is, was he trying to self-delete? Was he trying to self-delete because he had no seatbelt on? Well, Let me see. That's been closed. He had no seatbelt on. He did what he did. And okay, that's it right there. All right, let's get to this. Y'all know. But that's why I'm telling you what I'm telling you. I don't want to bring anything. I don't need to just come out here and start running my mouth talking trash about somebody because, oh, I got some dirt on them. Nah, I think it needs to be something that's tangible. It's been confirmed now. Now that we got receipts, now we can be able to talk about it, right? Now we can really discuss it because the receipts are in. The receipts are in now. So you guys take a look at this, right? This is a traffic case. This is David, the same guy, okay, in Wisconsin. David Robert Cardenas, okay, David Robert Cardenas, right up here, okay, same guy. This is around the same time, okay. It's filed back in August 25th, 2022, okay. It was charged with more than a DUI, okay. At that point, he was charged with more than a DUI. His license was suspended. He was operating while on a suspended license. Okay. So this is one right here says it was, operating on suspended license. This is one of the things they also charged him with. Of course, they said that he pled. Let me go over here. No contest. He pled no contest because that's what they typically do. They just entered in a plea for him because he didn't answer, like whether he was, guilty or not guilty. He didn't enter in that plea. So a judge pled for him, right? Guilty due to no contest plea. So they found him to be guilty of this particular situation. Now, due to no contest plea is crazy, but guilty due to no contest is crazy. But either way, operating while suspended. Okay, he had a suspended license, so he was already driving dirty. Okay, during the time of the accident. Let's continue, y'all. This is not it. Let's continue. I'm gonna come with some receipts. I'm gonna come with some receipts. Shout out to brother Odell and shout out to brother Daniel for pulling these receipts here. Okay. Now, let's see. Same year, 2022. Okay. So the registration was suspended. Maybe it was an unmarked vehicle as well. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you guys can see that. So the registration was suspended, operating after rev. Okay. Same thing, entered in a no contest plea, guilty due to no contest. Same guy, okay? David Robert Cardenas, okay? So I'm validating his testimony. I'm just validating what his claims are. So what happened truly did happen, and they just kept it quiet, right? That ain't it. That's not it, y'all. That's not it. Let me continue, okay? Let me continue. Let me see. What's this one? Same year, okay? It's another traffic forfeiture. Okay, another one, in around the same time, but this one here is in March, okay, March 28th. This one's in March, okay. Now, operating a motor vehicle without insurance. So this was one of the ones that he got hit with. So all of that talk about their vehicle, them not having issues with the vehicle, not having a license plate and all that other stuff. And then, of course, insurance and it not being registered, the stuff that Baldwin taught them, right? This is where it kind of leads them. Now, if they don't understand what you're doing, and guess what you get? Operating a motor vehicle, right? Without insurance, you get things like this going on. Now, this happened back in March. Same guy, David Robert Cardenas. Same guy. Okay. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it, y'all. That's not it. Okay. Now, this is 2009. He had disorderly conduct, which is fine. That's a criminal case. I believe that one's already through. That one's done. So, which is fine. Disorderly conduct back in 2009. Not a big deal. Right. Okay. Now, 2023, we got another situation that popped up in 2023. Okay. This one right here, date of birth. Oh, that's child support. Okay, so that's a child support case. That's paternity child support case. That's not the one I'm looking for though. But yeah, he had a child support situation going on. Guardian, and same guy. This is back in 2004. Personal injury, automobile, same thing. Something that's dealing with an automobile. What exactly did he do here? Same thing, automobile. This is 2004, y'all. Order dismissed. This is dismissal. He sent in an order dismissed. That's 2005. Filed, signed, dismissal, dismissed, dismissing. What does it say his charges here? This is civil. So this was a lawsuit. So somebody sued him back in 2004 in regards to maybe an automobile back in 2004, something to do with an automobile. 2014, this one here is also a lawsuit. I believe it was based on a rent that was owed. I believe the judgment was settled for $2,300 based on this particular case. Let me take a look. I believe it was $2,300 that was settled for small claims. So this is a small claims case, and the judgment was ruled over to them for $2,300. All right. Let's see. Is this one it? Nope, that's not it. Yeah, I got a whole file. And it's titled Straitway. Straitway files. Okay, I got a whole file, y'all. I got a whole file. So many people who yeah. So operating while suspended. Also he was operating the vehicle without a seatbelt too. And that's what I was trying to. So he had no seatbelt on, and he also was operating this vehicle with no seatbelt, and it was on a suspended license. So that's what I'm trying to get to operating after rev suspended registration. Let me double check. So another one is saying that he also was operating it without a seatbelt. So I don't know if he was actually what he was actually doing. I know that he was drinking heavy though, right? He was drinking heavy. And so that validates his testimony. It validates the testimony coming from brother Jordan. And honestly, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to validate that. It just is what it is. This is what took place. His what he's done during around that time, right? 2000 or 2022, all took place during that time. DUI, driving on suspended license, driving without the registration, driving without a seatbelt. Curious as to why that one's not popping up right now for me. Driving without a seatbelt. Did I save it in my file? Either way, I was just looking at it earlier. I don't know why it's not in my files right now. I was literally just looking at it. But I clicked on every single one of these. Maybe I didn't download it in time, or I didn't download that part to this file. Or transfer it. Either way. Okay, so that's what all took place in 2022. You heard no mentions of it. Nobody said a word. And honestly, it just kind of went away quietly. You didn't hear about it, did you? Did you hear anything about it? Did anybody say anything to you about this particular deacon, David? Y'all put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. If anybody heard anything about this guy, heard anything about these accidents, heard anything about him driving on a suspended license, driving dirty, driving without any seat belts, in the hospital, drunk off his ass. Anybody heard about this? Are we sure David is doing okay? Honestly, I think he was going through a very rough moment. Not only that, we got reports of him being with, in the situation he is with the current woman he took on, second one. Of course not. Nothing. We heard nothing. Nothing. Right? I don't know if David's all the way there. I don't know if he's there mentally all the way. He's definitely a drunk. That's for sure. Hopefully he kicked it by now. You know what I'm saying? But based on what Jordan's saying, he still was doing what he'd been doing. Right? Did not hear anything. I never heard of the DUIs. Absolutely. He nearly killed himself. He could have killed somebody else. I mean, honestly, you could have killed anybody, yo, driving without a seatbelt, suspended license, all of that stuff, right? All of that stuff. Mike, he not, but he loyal to Kabir now. Absolutely. Absolutely. He loyal to Kabir. Extremely loyal. Extremely loyal. How many of you, okay, so since we heard nothing about it so far, how many of you have heard about other brothers and their shortcomings? How many of you have heard about brother Abraham, right? And him talking about the brother Abraham in Australia. And brother, if you're still in the chat, you can click the link now. Come join me because I'm about to get into the situation here. This next segment is going to be crazy. How many of you have heard about brother Abraham? How many of you have heard Dowell talk about the situation over in Australia? Talk about the sister over there. Talk about how he wasn't trying to talk to her, take his wife. How many of you have heard about the brother over in Australia, brother Abraham, and the situation that's going on with Dowell and Abraham? We got all the time. Ain't nobody heard about this DUI. Ain't nobody heard about this person showing up drunk and doing all this stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, nothing. I'm sure he's answering that for the question that I asked recently. Yep. Is that Kareem and Abraham from Australia? I believe so. I believe so. I believe so. He's spoken on it. I mean, he's willing to speak about another man's situation. He's willing to speak about another man's predicament, and he's not willing to address or to speak on his own leadership when they're doing wrong. He's not willing to blast them out in the public. He's out in the open and make examples out of them, right? But he's willing to speak about another brother, right? He's willing to speak about another brother's circumstances, his situation. In fact, I'm one of those brothers he wanted to talk about. You understand what I'm saying? Other brothers, we will surely hear about them from Dowell. But if they want your loyalty, they will cover it up. Absolutely. They'll cover it up. How many more cover-ups is he going to continue to do? How many more cover-ups is he going to continue to do? Now, this next brother I'm going to bring on here is brother Abraham. He's all the way from Australia, from the land down under. I want to tell you, I want to welcome in and give him a very warm welcome, y'all. Very warm welcome to brother Abraham. Welcome in, my brother. Bless you.
Hey, bless you, brother Barack. Bless all the saints there and all the Israelites, my brother.
Hallelujah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now, of course, all of this stuff, right? All of this information that comes out, and the thing that he chooses to do is blast a man like yourself instead of addressing the real issues. How do you feel about that? What do you think about that, hearing all this information?
Well, when I first heard it, my brother, I watched that video that he done. I didn't see it till like 2 weeks after because I've already stopped listening to that lad. But it really pissed me off for him to bear false witness about me and to say that I didn't take care of my family, my brother. And I've done that all my life. My children, and my children know that. My wife knows that. But yeah, the only thing he got correct was me living in a tent, and that was a decision that I had to make because I don't know if that man is up to date with all the stuff that's going on in the world, but rent prices are just ridiculous, you know. So it was a choice that I made to go save some money, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you can be able to get ahead. It's like a launching pad.
100%, bro.
Hallelujah. Yeah. So they must have buried it and hid it from the saints. Let's go shout out to the donation. Thank you for donating. They must have buried it and hid it from the saints, but they didn't hope. He didn't hold back from trying to literally belittle you in front of everybody publicly, right? And not only that, he sent you a slew of different messages in order to do so. And what prompted him to do all this messaging through Marco Polo? What prompted him to actually do that? What do you believe?
Well, I know it was my wife because she was in conversation with Carol. So, And she, you know, because of the doctrine that if they talk about that if you fall away from the ministry, that you fall away from the faith, which is just hypocrisy. Nowhere in the book does it say that at all. So, you know, and the people chew this up and swallow this up like it's truth, but it's not truth. It's just straight out lies. But, you know, for them brothers there to stand there and bear false witness against me and to talk absolutely rubbish and not even discuss it with me personally before even coming out and speaking that, you know, that just, it says a lot, you know. If people can't see the fruit that he's bearing, the words that he speaks, and then he comes out later on and tries to do damage control, you know. I think he said, after he came out and said that, he said on his blog talk radio at the end of one of his blog talks or drunk talks that he does, that he called me a faithful brother and that all the saints should pray for me. I don't accept that at all.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, this is the thing, right? Because we heard him say these lies and say it about you. And of course, I recently just did a video in regards to that, just proving the level of lies that he's told. Let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick, and then we'll come right back, okay?
Sure.
Is the sheep preaching hate?
I'm still holding on as I fall into pieces.
I got a brother over in Australia mad as hell at me. Over what? Nothing. I never even met the man. You know what he's saying? What? I'm trying to take his wife.
You don't even know his wife's name, but
She in Australia. I never said one word. She in Australia. I never said one word. She in Australia. I never said one word.
Meanwhile,
Go ahead.
Hey, what you need to do, sister, is you need to test your husband both to make sure that he's actually going to be following the faith in the way. So you need to tell him he needs to actively find someone who's keeping the commandments and who actually keeping the feast days and who actually, believes everything that we know to be true, spiritual warfare, and then you need to be in fellowship with them. And we need to go there in fellowship with them and not forsake the assembly as the manner of some is. And we'll see if you're in because
Hide my excuses, bleed through the healing.
it's not something you just mentally acknowledge. Being in the faith is something that you actually do. You have to physically do it. So test his boast. See if he is going to be in the faith. Tell him the exact same thing I just told you. And let's see how committed he is to Yeshua, which I don't believe that he is. How committed he is to Yeshua, which I don't believe that he is.
How committed he is to Yeshua, which I don't believe that he is.
I think he's offended for some reason. I think he's offended for some reason.
And sometimes I would go there and I would look in that devil's face, and nobody knew I was kicking him in his gut, but he and I and his wife. She would not say nothing. And I would not bat my eyes either. Speaking as a man to a man. Now that man's wife is in the office. You're wrong for being in there with the door closed. I said, we should not even let our tongue be evil spoken of. I say, that's another man's wife. You don't shut the door and go on a private place with another man's wife.
Is the sheep violent or is the wolf the violent one?
As we can see, there was blatant lies, clear lies being told in regards to not even saying one word to her, nor to you, right? Not even knowing you, not even knowing your name, even. Like, when you see this, I want to ask you this, Brother Abraham. Is this a great show of discord? All of these correspondence with your wife, trying to show discord in your marriage and trying to pry her or separate you two, right? And you're trying to use biblical principles in order to do so, which the book speaks clearly against. What saith you?
Yeah, 100%, brother. You know, they just bore false witness against me, my bro. But to get it in context now, that Marco Polo come about after my wife try to divorce me because of the doctrine of falling away. So I gave her a video of Pastor Dowell about 8 years ago where he was talking about marriage, and when I think it's in 2 Corinthians or 1 Corinthians, and so I told my wife to send Pastor Dowell that video and tell me, is it lawful that a wife can divorce her husband? Now, beforehand, she was just going to divorce me. Now, if I didn't do that, take those steps to make that happen, she would have left and been in sin. Now, that video come out, and he told her that she has to follow me. You know, and in that sort of, so I try to break it down for her, you know, like he just told you that you have to follow me, that it's unlawful for you to divorce me, because I haven't fallen away from the faith. I still keep the commandments, still have a testimony, Yeshua HaMashiach. You know, that no one can take away from me. So this false doctrine they got out there, when you leave the ministry, that you leave the faith, those people who buy into that bullshit are just brainwashed, man, you know. And I'm just thankful that people are waking up to this truth, you know.
Yes, sir.
That the Most High is lifting the scales off their eyes, my brother, and opening up their ears. Because you can hear it in that video itself. He tried to give my wife authority over me to dictate terms to me, man. And if you can't see that in that video, then, you know, pray about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's exactly what I'm hearing. That's what I've received from all the correspondence. That's not the only one, y'all. You got to understand that one Marco Polo message, it was just one of several. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is that he was often and frequently communicating with this brother's wife and putting this brother's wife against her own husband, right? Talk about the devil. And the devil is a lie. Didn't Satan, 100%. The serpent, beguile Eve? Did he not? Did the serpent not beguile Eve? Now, my thing is this, right? Go ahead, my brother.
No, you're right. That's what I say. You know, the devil always goes after the woman first. That's just straight facts. You know, it's from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, you know, any time a man is doing that, you know what sort of spirit he's operating in. And why would you want to break up a home, man? Like the things that I've done for my family, just in coming into the truth, you know, and the Most High has blessed me greatly, my brother. You know, I'm not an educated man. I'm not a tradesman or nothing, but he's put me in a position where I can provide for my family financially, give me all the things that I need to get through the times that are coming, you know, tribulation. And this man was going to split that up and put my family and my children in a situation where they couldn't even defend for themselves. Total hypocrisy, man. Just ridiculous.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want to go ahead and give the people more of an insight as to what extent he's actually been communicating with her, because they heard that one piece. I want to go ahead and let them hear the rest of them. And then I want us to weigh in as to what he's saying. Now, the first one that I'm going to begin with, right, is going to start off with him speaking the same thing that I used for this video here. Excuse me, y'all. My bad. All right, so that's not the one. Where is it? Okay, no, that's not it. I just had it here. All right, it's okay. I'll grab it right now. I had it down here on the queue. Maybe I removed it for some reason. There we go. Got it. All right.
Hey, what you need to
speak to that real quick. Now, you know, I'm going to stop it periodically, okay, through these Marco Polo messages, and we're going to address it and talk about it. Because of the simple fact that, yeah, you know, what he's been saying is telling. And even the last message, the last recording is the most profound one. That's the one right there that sent me. You know what I'm saying? Now, that one made me hot. It really upset me the way that he was speaking, not only about you, but also to your wife in regards to you, right? And getting her so amped up and gaslighting her to approach you in the manner that she did. And I thought that was extremely disrespectful, right? Now, let's talk about him getting his hands caught in a cookie jar. What was you going to say, my brother? Go ahead.
No, just agreeing with you, brother, 100%. Total disrespect. No concern, you know, for other people's matters, man. Just pure wickedness, man. You know, like he likes to preach, you know, man to man, but man contact. And by the way, Even
Wow.
before I messaged Brother Zach Dowell, we've been in communication, and I actually told him why I was moving out bush. This is before the whole incident. Now, when this all happened, why didn't that brother, which stays at that camp there in Tennessee, even go to Pastor Dowell and show him the Marco Polo that I sent him to get a bit of more understanding, But this man just went out blatantly and just falsely accused me of things that wasn't even true, man. It's just crazy. And I want man to man, I Marco Poloed him back. I sent a message to this brother, Come talk to me if you want the truth, brother. Why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm here by myself, and I got to make moves to protect my family,
Right.
He's just a hypocrite, man. That's just, and he's a coward. He won't man up and come and talk to me. He won't message me back on Marco Polo. I'll destroy that fellow, man. Straight facts.
Right. Straight up. And which he has not done that yet, huh? He hasn't messaged you or tried to get at you privately. Has he sent you any messages privately prior to talking to your wife?
No, he won't do it, brother. That's just character. In his mind, he probably believes that he doesn't need to do it, and he'll just keep carrying on, man.
So that's totally out of the book. I mean, it says you got out with your brother, go to your brother and your brother alone.
Absolutely. And that's right, brother. So, this man is acting in sin, and just all the things that he's done over the time, it just is what it is. And I hope people can see it, man. I hope people can see it. True, honestly, I hope the Most High wakes the true Israelites up, because it's for their salvation, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And this is great that I'm glad you brought this forward. And for you guys out there, yes, this is Mother Carol who's setting these calls up in regards to Dowell dealing with this man's wife in the private, right? Behind closed doors and gaslighting her, right? The weaker vessel, trying to peer into her mind and twist her mind, right? And to control her mind and to be in this man's opposition in his own home. You understand what I'm telling you? So I want to play this real quick. And then so, of course, we're going to play the first one through. And if you got anything you want to address, Brother Abraham, in regards to each one, you just let me know. Send me a sec. I'll pause it, and then you can go ahead and talk about the situation, okay? All right, let's get to it.
Sisters, you need to test your husband both to make sure that he's actually going to be following the faith in the way. So you need to tell him he needs to actively find someone who's keeping the commandments and who actually keeping the feast days and who actually, believes everything that we know to be true, spiritual warfare. And then you need to be in fellowship with them. And we need to go there and fellowship with them and not forsake the assembly as the manner of some is. And we'll see. It's not something you just mentally acknowledge. Being in the faith is something that you actually do. You have to physically do it. So test his boast. See if he is going to be in the faith. Tell him the exact same thing I just told you. And let's see how committed he is to Yeshua, which I don't believe that he is. I think he's offended for some reason, and I think it's just like in a lot of other people, as a means and a tools to get his clean break because he don't really want to serve y'all. That's my personal opinion, though. But let's see if he does. And then you don't say anything. You follow him, but you stay on him about being up under someone because you're going to have to. You cannot forsake the fellowship of the assembly together as the manner of some is.
Pastor here, he's going to send a recording for your.
All right. So now, anything you want to address in that recording? Because in this, right, he's already amping her up, gassing her up to be able to check you about how you're serving the Father, what you're doing. Not encouraging her to be led of you, but encouraging her to be your direct opposition. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, brother. That says it all right there, What does there need to explain? If you have the truth and you know the truth, it's plain and simple, man. That's just what it is. You should be able to see that he was trying to give authority over me, authority to my wife over me. Ridiculous, man.
Right. Absolutely. And that's absolutely ridiculous. Let's continue with this thing. And it gets worse, y'all. It gets worse. This is just the tip of the spear with these messages. It's going to get even worse. So let's continue to listen in. And Carol is orchestrating this whole thing. She's orchestrated this. And if you have all of the poor intentions, right? You do not have the best intentions in heart. if you're talking to this man's wife in private. Your intentions is not anything positive. You got your underlying motives if you're speaking to her behind the scenes. Same way that you did with Nelly. Let's continue.
All right, listen, Abraham, man. You know that the book says, against an elder receive not an accusation, but before 2 or 3 witnesses, not hearsay, not internet. You can believe what you want to believe. It's obviously you already offended. You're already falling away. And that's all there is to it. And hey, listen, dude, I'm not trying to keep nobody in nothing. If y'all can't keep them, there's none of my business. If I'm trying to keep people, then why am I giving them $20,000 to leave? It's nonsensical. It makes no sense. I'm not preaching no false doctrine. There's nothing I can say at this point because you are offended that's going to mount or matter anyway. And so let me prophesy to you. You're going to lose your family. And because right now, this is the truth. Brother, you don't even have a roof over your family's head. You're living in a tent. Man up and do your job. Do your job and get out of this punk-ass sissy spirit that you in. That's how we talk over here. And that's how we live over here. That's what you need to do. So instead of putting forth the finger and everybody else and trying to poke holes in what they doing, take a long, good look in the mirror at yourself and see where you're falling short.
Go ahead.
Now that right there was like, what honestly, he's not saying it to you directly because he's got you on Marco Polo. He could say that to you in the private. He didn't have to say that in front of your wife and plant those types of seeds, right? But he chose to say it through your wife to you, right? So she can be able to have those seeds planted in her of betrayal, of feeling like she's being neglected or lacking something from you as a husband, whatever it may be, right? And you can only see this and say, you know what, this exact same MO, he used the same playbook when he was dealing with Nelly. When he was dealing with Nelly, you're seeing it firsthand. The audience is seeing it and listening to it firsthand. The manipulation, the level of manipulation that goes into these women's minds as he's wishing to take, right, or have for himself, whatever it may be. But you got to have a motive. So what do you feel? What do you think about this last recording, brother?
Oh, just I don't know, brother. He just full of shit. You know, that's all he wanted to do. Just speak these words into my wife's ear. You know, because obviously she didn't want to leave the ministry. You know, so yeah, I don't know, man. He's just a liar, just a flat out liar. I don't know what else to say. You know, it's just why couldn't he come to me man to man? That's all. You know, he preaches as this doctrine. You know that he doesn't do these things. You know, you want to. If you're going to do anything, you know, you talk to the man first, you know, but he doesn't do that. He didn't even do that in this situation. So isn't that being hypocritical of his teachings, you know? That what he's taught in the past that comes out of his own mouth, that he doesn't practice these things? It's plain and simple to see, my brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw it from a mile off. And I wouldn't be surprised that your wife, your Isha, she didn't see it. And hopefully she sees it now. The hypocrisy, the wickedness, the level of separation he's tried to cause between yourself and your wife. And I really hope that she sees it and hears it now. And so my thing is this, right? What effect did it have? I'm sorry, what was that?
Sorry, but the fact of the matter is, when people are brainwashed, mind control, it's very hard to break those spirits, my brother. You know, and you can just go back and look at worldly situations if you're dealing with people and you're trying to bring them to the truth, you know, just worldly truths, whether it be flat earth, vaccines, whatever, you know, COVID-19, all that sort of stuff. But
absolutely,
they get that, I like that saying, they get that fluoride stare, you know, because their pineal gland has been so calcified. So, you know, it's hard to actually get it into their brain, you know, so you be patient with them. You know, and just pray, man. I hope the Most High frees these people's minds, you know, under this delusion that they're under, you know, because, we know what happens to blind followers who follow blind leaders, man. It's not good.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. Now, what effect did it have on your home after all this has taken place? He's saying what he's saying in these messages to your wife, right? And never coming to you man to man, didn't keep the book, didn't go to his brother alone. What effect did it have on your family, on your wife? What did you have to do, to get this thing right?
Well, just revert back to the book, my brother. And that's what I did. I reverted back to the book and passed it on to, because he'll only believe what he says. So I reverted back information, so a straight book back to him. So, she couldn't leave me. So it just destroyed his doctrine. And then, so I don't know, but it's a hard battle, brother. It's still not easy now. You know what I mean? I'm still fighting that battle.
Right.
Definitely need the prayers of the righteous man to go up to the Most High to help me in this. I'm here all alone by myself.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, my brother. And honestly, definitely prayers need to go out and go up. And so you're still currently fighting that battle and trying to get her to understand the level of truth in regards to what he's been feeding her and what he's been doing as the serpent beguiled Eve, and she went and made a poor choice, poor decisions, in which you had to come and combat that with the scripture, with the word. And so this is a continue on battle. You're saying that this has not even subsided yet.
No, not yet, my brother.
Right. So the level of witchcraft, the level of manipulation is still present even now. Even though you guys are separated. And did she have, I'm sorry, what was that? No,
right, but she still I've cut her off from all listening to Straitway, Marco Polo, all that sort of stuff,
right.
Upset about that, but she still believes that this man is a man of Yah, that he's some sort of prophet. So
wow.
these are the change on the and it's not easy.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that, my brother. I'm sorry to hear that. Now, my thing is that when it comes to the situation and some of the things that you've already experienced, right? Has she ever spoken about moving to the States, coming over to America, maybe living with Dowell or anything like that? Like, as far as like a game plan.
No, we spoke about that ages ago. Like we used to have a lot of fellowship with Brother Steve up there in Canada with international saints, and we always talked about going overseas and go and visit in Straitway and all that sort of stuff. But I couldn't get my passport, my brother, because of my previous life. And when I look back at all those things happen, I think it was just the Most High keeping me separated from the filth that was going on. But and you hear all the testimonies. I was hearing testimonies even on Skype, my brother, that through other brothers, that they'll come out saying, like after the feast, and they're going, some of these brothers over here, man, they're not your brothers, and all these little seeds were planted in my mind, these little testimonies, that people going to these feasts, and it just wasn't fitting right with me. You know what I mean?
Yes,
and
sir.
After all these happen, and then, look at that emblem they do for their what's name, the trident or the garden fork, he calls it. It's a graven image. That's just what it is. How can you not read the commandments and go, well, that's a graven image? It doesn't matter whether it's in the sky, in the water, or on the earth. Nothing, anything can be put as an idol in front of Israelites. And then he was trying to explain that through a video and not even using the book, but going through other sources to justify those actions. Nah, man, it is what it is. That is a graven image. You're putting stumbling blocks in front of Israelites,
Absolutely. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And so now it's like the scales removed. You can see it clearly. And honestly, it's being exposed in a major way. In a major way. Because the lies are blatant. He knows the truth. He understands that he shouldn't have been talking to your wife privately and doing any of that stuff. He knows it and doesn't care. And that's just kind of what it is. how he blatantly lied and said he never even said a word to the girl and or to your wife. My apologies. He never said a word to your wife. But you know, then to come and we have these recordings from Marco Polo in which he directly addresses her and speaks directly to her and trying to manipulate her, and then are and manipulating her mind. And so she's got to understand this is a sin of witchcraft. This is witchcraft. It's not nothing different. This is a wolf in sheep's clothing. This is an individual who is an agent of Satan. He's a minister of Satan, and this is what he does. He's been doing it for quite some time now. He can do it on a greater level now because he's got a little bit more resources from these football players. You know what I mean?
For sure. That's just what cult leaders do, my brother. You know, I'm thankful that the Most High guided me through, and His Spirit of truth never left me, brother, that I'll still be able to discern the truth. You know what I mean? And it just tend to flow on, you know, like even with Pastor Rufus, man. You know, I watched that brother get anointed a pastor, which was, you know, great to see, man, because, and then when he done that teaching on the women, at first, the first teaching he done at Straitway was uplifting the females, man, the daughters of Zion. And I watched Pastor Dowell's spirit, mate. You know, and I'm sitting all the way over here in Australia, and I can see in his spirit that hurt his feelings. That hurt him. And I knew straight after that he was going to come after that, man, because Pastor Dowell doesn't like anybody being above him. Somehow this man has put himself in the seat of Moses and put himself where you have to go through him to get to Messiah. And I've messaged him this on Marco Polo and try to, you know, I hope he reads my messages. And nowhere in the book does it give a right for another man to rule another man's house, or that another man is a mediator between the man and Yeshua himself. So it's a false doctrine. And you heard him mention that about false doctrines, man. You know, and there's so many of them. You know, now they're bringing this Essene doctrine out. Where the hell does that come from? False doctrine. You have to forgive me, my brothers and sisters, but I started smoking about 2 weeks ago because of the stress. But I did give up drinking, and I'm thankful that I wasn't drinking through this whole situation, because it would have ended up worse. But it's only for a time. And another thing with that video, when they're running me down and bearing false witness against me, that you have two other blokes standing there saying certain things, you know, and I was disappointed with that, especially the way Brother Bud was trying to chime in and say something like he was full of wisdom or something, man. Like, I don't know about you brothers, but if a man started accusing you of something, if he was in front of me, even speaking like that to me, brother, that man would have no teeth left in his mouth.
That's right. You ain't lying, bro. Honestly, yeah, you wouldn't be wrong for it either. I mean, rearrange his jaw.
You do.
Yes, sir.
You're accusing me, you're bearing false witness against me, you know, that I don't take care of my family. And all my family, I got 7 children, my brother, and they all know I look after them. And Yah has provided me with financial assistance, all the things that I need. I've been prepping, man, storing away food. You know, I got, you know, the things I through the times that are coming. You know, I've got to make these moves, man, because I'm here by myself, you know.
Right.
And we all do the same thing. But, you know, for him to say that, that really, oh, mate, I was wild. Like, I watched that video 2 weeks after the fact. And I was pissed, man. If I could get out of the state, I'd fly over there.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And so now I know that you touched on a few of the doctrine that was false that, you know, you discovered. It was like, okay, now this is highly questionable. And of course, more keeps coming out that's extremely questionable. So what was the one thing that really did it for you when he said or was preaching and teaching something in regards to false doctrine? what was the one thing that made you say, you know what, I'm out of here? Now, one thing that okay, but first, where I want you to start is, how long were you listening to Pastor Dowell? How long were you listening to him? And how long were you with the ministry? And then go into why you left and the doctrine, the false doctrine, that really solidified everything for you.
I've probably been listening for probably since 2014. You know, when I first come in, when the Most High was with me, brother, and showing me the truth, you know, and what we need to do. You know, just opened my eyes that we need to turn back to Him and keep the law, you know, and revealing to me who I was as a person, you know, that everything else was a lie. That, you know, I am a Hebrew Israelite man. I am a descendant of our forefathers, you know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. History teaches us that, through history, you know, not the lies they push out there in the mainstream. But
yes, sir.
I started turning back, and then started looking for the saints. You know, there has to be a remnant, you know, around that actually doing these things. You know, I probably wouldn't have started listening full on really probably 5-6 years ago. You know, when we started having fellowship with brother Steve Lasperance in Canada, and it wasn't all the time; it was just every now and again. But I noticed a change when I seen a brother there years ago we used to fellowship with on Skype, and he ended up leaving the ministry. I don't know what for, but I remember he used to get onto Blog Talk when Blog Talk was actually pretty good. You know, people come and share their testimonies and stuff like that. And somehow this brother used to, you know, he'd nearly come up every weekend, you know, into Blog Talk, and he'd be testifying and people be receiving the Holy Spirit, you know, through his hands, you know. And I watched then in Pastor Dowell's spirit change right then. This is probably 6-7 years ago. And I seen something in him then, that spirit of pride, man. He didn't like the fact that this brother was doing these works. You know, that was my discernment when I seen it. I thought, all right, that's all good. You know, you probably got to get over something, you know, but this brother's doing a good work. You know, that's awesome. Next minute, that brother's out of the ministry. You know, and you go for different pieces and stuff like that. But I think the next part might have been Pastor. There's probably other things there I just can't remember off the top of my head. But just the whole debacle with Pastor Rufus, you know, I watched the spirit on Elder Mitchell change, Elder Becker, you know, so I knew there was something going on behind the scenes, whatever was said. And I've confessed this to Elder Becker too. And I told my wife, even when that happened, I said, you watch. I bet you Elder Mitchell end up leaving that ministry, because I could see something in him that he just wasn't agreeing with, you know. And then lo and behold, he leaves the, you know. These things are easy to discern, you know. Watch people's body language, look into their eyes, you know. See how they're acting. Even with Brother Jordan, man, I'm glad to see that brother, you know, out of that ministry, because if you go back, watch his videos, and you see in his eyes, you can see that he was not himself. You can see that he was controlled. And then you look at him now with his testimonies, man, you can see the truth coming out of the man. He's actually, his whole appearance has changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and all praises to the Most High for that, my brother. And that's what Yah will do. And when he does this, I think all of us got to understand that all this is for the elect's sake, you know, that won't be deceived in these end times, because false teachers and false prophets will arise.
Right.
So class as an elect, my family.
That's absolutely facts. Yeah, I've been saying that, brother, that listen, when he told his testimony, Jordan, when he told his testimony, you can literally see the chains breaking. You can see that he was freeing himself from that level of witchcraft, that mind control, that everything that he's been through over a few years where he served and he gave all, right? And you know, it's a beautiful thing to see, because I believe I went through that same process of pruning, right? Of removing the chains off of my mind in regards to speaking out against Straitway, and things like that. And I can just identify it. I can witness it when somebody is finally relieving, like getting that weight off their shoulders. I can even see it now with you, brother, and being able to address the testimony that you currently have and the struggles that you're currently still going through, the battle you're still going through with the level of witchcraft between you and your family. And I know for sure that this is going to not only touch people, right, and get them to wake up and see the truth in regards to this particular man who they believe is the so-called man of Yah, in which he's manipulating them into believing that, right? and to hear your testimony and see that not only does he have sin on his blood on his hands, but this is one thing that you definitely brought up, and others have many testimonies of him not going directly to the brother, completely going against the Messiah and what he teaches us to do in order to deal with conflict. And he's literally slandered you, tried to make you look bad to your wife, to your family, as less than a man, so he can be able to intervene, so he can, whatever he's attempting to do with her, he could have his way and orchestrate that through his woman, through Carol, right? He'll go through any lengths to be able to get what he desire. And I don't know exactly what his goal was. What was his goal in regards to trying to get you and your wife to separate? What was the goal? What was the true motive?
What was that going to prove? What was that going to prove? You're going to put a woman in sin and separate her from a husband that takes care of her and takes care of his children, that will defend them with every last breath, my brother. You know, that made no sense to me. Where was she going to go? She couldn't go. She was just going to go back out there in the world.
Right.
Yeah, crazy.
Now, does she have her passport?
Yeah.
Now, I'd hate to speculate. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, right. I just, you know, there had to be a contingency plan. There had to be conversations in regards to a backup plan. There's no way that you're intervening in somebody else's marriage that much and not try to plan or make preparations for them in the time where they feel like, okay, it's time for me to depart. It's time for me to leave. Whatever they decide they want to do, and going against the word, going against the book, right? To a man who's not neglecting her, that's not neglecting the family. You know what I mean? You're fully present. You're fully there physically, and you're still defending your house right now, you know, publicly right now.
Always.
You're right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So it's like we're totally just willfully going against the word. And my thing is that I don't know. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I don't know why I am. I just am, because I wouldn't suspect that somebody would be this sloppy and this just blatant, going against the word and claim to be a man of Yah. Like, I don't get it.
My brother Barak, we see the fruit, you know. We know what the devil comes to do, man. Steal, kill, and destroy, my brother. So why are you trying to destroy, man? Come on. You know, we went through a situation here with other brothers and sisters, you know. There's even a brother wasn't in the faith, but his wife was. I wouldn't tell that wife to leave her husband. Doesn't matter if they're worldly, whatever, because we know marriage is a covenant that the Most High set up from the beginning, man. You know, so even though that man wasn't of the faith, she still has to be obedient to that man, because that's your marriage, man. You know, but you were out there to, you know, spit certain verses. You know, they use that. I think it's in Corinthians. You know, unbeliever. You know, part and all that sort of stuff. He said on that video. I said, how the hell makes sense? I'm not unbeliever. I'm just leaving Straitway. I still keep the commandments. Still have a testimony of Yeshua. Still know the truth. So how does that doctrine fit into that narrative? So obviously they're trying to spin they're twisting scripture to their own destruction, my brother. You know? Sure. And you'll see it now. The words that he speaks, the words that he's saying now is just bringing himself undone. You know, it's a shame that those saints and the other Israelites in that community or in that ministry can't see it, you know. But, you know, we've been praying for those brothers and sisters, man. And hopefully they wake up and see the truth.
Now, yes, sir, absolutely, and you're absolutely right. Now, that's the thing: unbelieving departed from the faith. Yeah, using that, it would be the I guess the more logical thing for somebody who has a underlying motive to use the word against you, right? Because even the book says that Satan knows the word just as well as we do. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, him operating as an agent of Satan, he's going to use the word to manipulate the minds of the women, right, to entice them. Okay, and which, of course, if we were to take a look at this, then let's go into what the book has to say in regard to a few things. And I know in First Peter, somebody dropped it in the chat earlier, right, in regards to First Peter 3:1. And I want to add that here real quick. Let me pull it up for you guys so you guys can see. There we go. And let me see here. Boom. All right. Man, y'all can't really see that like that, huh? So, nope, not like that. All right. And so my thing is this, right? When we're looking at this and we're taking a look at what we got, boom. All right. Let me get this right, y'all. Let me get this right. So when we're taking a look at this and we're seeing the truth behind it, right? Let me add you in. Can I add you in from here? Maybe not. Okay, cancel. Get back in here. All right, that's good enough. Y'all can see that. All right, so let's go First Peter, and I want you to give me what you think about this in regards to it. I don't know if we're gonna go to First Peter. This is Peter talking here. I believe it was 3:1. Yep, 3:1 and 2. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, right? To your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the chaste conversation of the wives. Now, even if you were somebody who departed from the faith, who decided to stop serving Yah for a while, Yah forbid, right? That you decided that, she still is tasked to stay with you, right? To stay with you and through her chaste conversation when you back. Now, it shouldn't be encouraged, right? As Peter never encouraged the wife to just leave her husband. What saith you in regards to that? Now, of course, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear of the Most High, is this something that you leaned on in regards to First Peter 3:1 and 3:2?
Yeah, my brother, I've showed all those, how, the man is the head of the house, and, that it doesn't say anywhere in the book that, a wife should run to their pastor, but question, you ask your husband, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's all Bible, man, and we all know the book. Surely we know the verses, we can go in and type it into that blue letter version there, and it'll give you all the scriptures to back it all up. And never does it say in the Bible that a wife is supposed to run to their pastor. The pastor's supposed to be there for knowledge and understanding, to help you understand something you struggle, not to rule over you and to dictate terms to you and how you live your life and what you do. It's pretty plain.
Right. I 100% agree with that. No, not to dictate terms. And then even then, it's like you're the one who's supposed to go and ask him about certain situations. She's not supposed to be communicating with him privately at any point. That is inappropriate. As a married woman, he should never allow that to happen. She should never let that take place unless he has an underlying motive that is not honestly that's not going to be pleasing in the sight of the Most High. If he has an underlying motive that nobody could know about, then he would do some things in secret and private. He didn't make it known that he was talking directly to your wife. He said that he told you, but he actually indirectly told you some things through your wife. He never explained that or said anything about it. Yeah.
Yeah, bless you, brother. I'll just confirm that. So because of my wife was in that mindset and believing that he is the man of Yah, which I don't see that book at all, that this man of Yah was going to, pop up and everybody that's in Straitway is the only people that's going to be saved. Ridiculous. But for me to get her to see the scriptures and the verses, I had to give her and tell her that, okay, if I'm giving you these verses and you're not listening to me, then you have to, because the only person she listened to was Pastor Dowell because of her mindset.
Wow.
I had to give her the authority to go, well, you get that to Mother Carol, get it to Pastor Dowell, and I want to hear his words, and I want the video. He tells you these things. And the last message I give her to tell Pastor Dowell, I told him that I want confirmation out of his own mouth that it is lawful for her to divorce me. Now, when I went to work one day, apparently she rang Mother Carol. And then this is why I wanted the information. Now, this man went behind deceitfully and used a phone call where I couldn't get what it was exactly said into her ears. You know what I mean? That's one of the Marco Polo videos, you know, because I want to catch him out in his own lies and his sin. And I was waiting for him to come back because I wanted him to actually confess out of his own mouth that it was lawful for her to divorce me, which it wasn't. But he didn't do that. So apparently the phone call was made and then they discussed something over the phone. I don't know what was said over that phone call. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know. And I'm asking, what did he say? What other shit did he try to spit into your ear? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
But that's what happened, man.
And what did she come back with? What answer did she give you?
Jeez.
Yeah.
More or less the same thing, you know, like she can't leave me. It's lawfully you can't do it, you know. I haven't fallen away. I think they used the part where the called me an unbeliever, you know, and an infidel. You know, and that was Brother JC saying that out of his own mouth. Brother, you have to come see how I live, my brother, and you know, come visit me in Australia and you tell me if I'm an infidel I don't provide for my family. Mouth to mouth, face to face, my brother. You know, same with Brother Bud, man. I tell you, for that man to say the things that he said, you know, 50 years out of his own mouth, 50 years, and all you can provide is a tent, man. I got heaps of stuff for my family. Most High has blessed me greatly, my brother. You know, so I can provide. I got children that are on government assistance. I think one of them is on months. They live off me because I can provide for them. You know, for that, I'll tell you, I was right, boy, my brother. That still pisses me off today. I don't hear that sort of talk. Like I said, man to man, face to face. You know, he wouldn't even got through the first word speaking that sort of stuff. But, you know, and then Pastor Dowell tried to make out that he was prophesying or some shit. If the people listen to the speech, listen to the talk, you know, listen to how they're talking about somebody, myself, who they never even met. I've met Pastor Dowell. We've had conversations on Skype, you know, and for him to say things like that and people want to defend that sort of shit, nah, man, that's bullshit.
Yeah. I'm listening to it and I'm like, man, JC, Bud, y'all ain't got nothing to your name. Y'all don't own nothing. And y'all stuck there building for some other man and what he's got going on. He's providing for you and your family. He is the one. And so how are you going to call another man who has his own, right, an infidel, and you don't even have your own that you're providing for your family? Because if you kicked out, guess what? You're out on you ain't got nothing.
That's
so
right.
It's like, who's truly an infidel?
How is that book, brother? Because we're commanded to lay up for our children as parents. We are commanded to do that. How do you do that when you are laying up for another man and you got nothing?
Absolutely.
Make sense of that.
It don't make sense at all. You got the chat saying Matthew 19:9. But I say to you that anyone who divorces his wife, except on the grounds of sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery. And whosoever marries divorced woman commits adultery also. And we have Ezekiel 4:12. And eat it as a barley cake, and bake it before their eyes on human dung. That's a shot right there. He taking a dig. All right. We got Proverbs 10:23, which I'm going to get to in a minute. And let's say we got Proverbs up here right now, actually. Proverbs, of course, Proverbs 31:10. Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Would you say that he was attempting to influence her to do evil towards you?
I reckon if I didn't stand up, brother, and fight back, because I was almost at the stage where I was just going to let it go, and just let it ride.
Right.
But
Yes,
if I
sir.
get these videos and try and prove to her that she was going to sin, be in sin, that, whatever doctrine they're spinning there that I've left away, I haven't left away. I'll always, like I said, I'll always keep the commandments and have a testimony, Yeshua. And that was in this doctrine that she was going to leave me and be in sin. It was going to condemn her soul, man. So I was fighting for that. I don't want to see her go. I don't want to see her, go down to the pit over some lies. So but if I didn't do that, that's exactly where she would be, my brother. But thankful to the Most High that I kept her here, bro.
Right. She would have condemned her own soul by making that decision.
100%.
Shout out to Wisco. Appreciate that donation, my brother. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous. So my thing is that everything's confirming your position. And then so what we've just got done hearing with these recordings is putting him all on blast. And honestly, brother, what you've been doing, the recordings you've been able to acquire and honestly display here today, it really exposes him in the now, right? In the act of doing what he did with so many others. He did it with Nelly. He did it with Summer. And now you understand, and we all heard the tactics that he's using to be able to entice and influence these women. Infidel, unbeliever. So when you put these men out of the ministry, you say that they've left the faith. And they're worse than now. All of a sudden, they're an unbeliever who's not following the Most High anymore, and that those women are also going to be condemned if they decide to stay with that man. And so this is what he's using to be able to influence and entice. And he's doing it all through his wives. He's doing it through Carol. He's doing it through Nelly. He's doing it through these other women. Summer, even as somebody who's been out here trying to check on people's whereabouts on behalf of Dowell. He's sent some to find some information out from him before. So he's using his wives to be able to orchestrate and move in devious ways, in deceitful ways. And so I want to applaud you, my brother, for coming out and actually standing up against this and actually putting your testimony out here. You know what I'm saying? It's very respectful for you to give the people exactly what they need to hear so they can know like who they're dealing with behind the scenes. Mr. I'm meek, Mr. I'm humble, right? But in truth, he's far from that. He's an agent of Satan.
Yeah, they just broke the commandment, brother, bearing false witness against me, just blatantly out there on video, just bore false witness. And we can go read those verses, all you got to do is just type it in to that Bible there, my brother, false witnesses, and you read those verses. It fits them fellas to the T, and see what happens to these people who bear false witness.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's what they did with me, brother. They bore false witness. They didn't come and talk to me. That so-called man didn't come and talk to me, man to man. I've sent him 4 polo videos. They've been sitting there for the last 2 months. I seen he was active days ago. I've got polo for the next 12 months. But he won't address the issues because he is a coward.
Absolutely.
And I don't fear that. He's not gonna do it. I don't fear no man but Yah.
That's how it's supposed to be. Unto death. Absolutely. You fear no man but Yah. In which you can see the clear fear, right? If you got to talk to a woman in order to get to the man, if you got to talk to the woman and not talk to that man directly, you're terrified. You understand what I'm saying? You're afraid. That is fearful. That is fear tactics. You know,
brother.
If you're a real man. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You, that's the thing. He knows that I was on Marco Polo. He knows I'm on Marco. Now, if a woman come to you with an issue, you don't go speaking to that woman. You message me. Come talk to me as the man, and I will tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing. Didn't do that at all. Just wanted to speak into her ear like the devil does.
Absolutely. And it said, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Neither shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor. It's been reiterated twice in the Old Testament here in the law. You understand what I'm saying? So he's breaking the laws of the Most High Yah. And obviously, the truth is what it is, right? He's being very presumptuous in doing so.
The whole three of them, my brother, the whole three of them, and whoever else was in agreement with it too as well, you know. If you are in agreement with what was said and spoken out of their mouths, you also are an accomplice to what was said.
An accomplice to it. That's absolutely accurate. So he's literally taking these people to a pit. Honestly, he's got them lying for him. He's got them bearing false witness for him. He's got them covering up his sin. And the justice shall make diligent inquiry, making diligent inquiry. And behold, if the witness be a false witness and have testified falsely against his brother, what's going to happen to him? He shall be judged. And whatever he sought to do unto his brother, that's what will be done unto him. And that's what the rest of that was. So there's a lot that go. Of course, we're going to speak against bearing false witness all day. And my thing is that he's done this multiple times. Now, in real time, you guys are right now listening to and witnessing a situation that recently was spoken about where he actively lied blatantly, right? And took advantage of a situation and tried his best to get his way with somebody else's wife. Once again, what more do we need to prove to you? What more do we need to continue to bring out for you guys to get it through your thick skulls? I don't care what he says on his videos in regards to us talking about whatever and oh, this, that, and the third. They're just here he is with his Michael Jackson spew, right? They're just liars.
None
you know
of
what
it's
I'm saying?
true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lied.
Straight facts, my brother. Straight facts. It is what it is, you know. The word's not contradictory. It's plain and simple. You read it and just take it for what it says. So if you were out there bearing false witness, you know, putting it all out there on YouTube for the whole world to see, that is a real act of wickedness, my brother. And it says a lot. It says a damn lot. And if those, you know, and I hope, like you say, if other Israelites and saints are listening to me speak that know me, that was in part of that ministry and are still there, where have I lied?
Yes, sir. He's gonna have to bring some real receipts now because he can't. That wasn't AI. That was him. That was his active voice on that Marco Polo app, running his mouth. Brother, I appreciate you joining me, my brother. Thank you so much for bringing this out. Is there anything you want to leave off with the people with?
Not necessarily. Just pray for the Israelites, man. Those that are his, you know, that more people can be set free from their bondage under this these false teachings, man, and false doctrines. You know, because it's all about Israel waking his people up. You know, we can see that we are in the last days. You know, that this was all prophesied about, false teachers, false prophets rising up. You know, well, we know there's only going to be 2 more witnesses that are coming back. You know, and everybody else is a liar. So don't go looking for Yeshua anywhere else where it says, you know, like you won't find him out in the desert. You won't find him anywhere else, you know. Find him in yourself. Just wait till he comes back when he breaks that sky, man. That's where he's coming from. You won't find him in another man. Look for him within yourself. So always seek truth. Be a Berean. Look into everything. Don't stop being a Berean. I think that was my problem. I just stopped, you know, because I thought I found.
Right.
But don't stop being a Berean. Research everything. When you come into this truth, you have to take all information in and let the Spirit guide you. Let the Spirit of truth guide you to all truth.
Right.
It'll wake you up.
Wow. Yep. Yes, sir. Well, bless you well, my brother. I appreciate it. And that's some wise words. And I believe that we got a request for your email to be able to get in touch with you. So if you can shoot it to me.
Yeah, for sure, my brother. What, I'll put it into the chat or just message you personally or something?
Yeah, you can put it into the chat. Yes, sir. Put it into the chat. And yeah, you know what? Yeah, message me. Do it into the private chat. Do it into the private chat, because I don't know if you want everybody to know your email. So
Sure.
you can do it into the private chat, and I'll relay the message real quick and get the email over. So yeah, if you can drop it in the private chat real quick, and I'll go ahead and send it over. And honestly, it's been a joy though. You know, you got to stay in touch, man. I know you don't feel you got to be alone over there in Australia. Well, you know, of course, you in the land down under. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what they call it, right?
Yeah.
But you know, you always got family across the pond here. And honestly, you know, I'm sorry that you had to go through this and that you still having to fight through it. I can only feel your pain. And it's just like, yo, it's crazy to that somebody would go through these lengths to destroy somebody else's home. And for what reason, really? You know?
Straight facts, brother. Bless you. Bless all the Israelites out there, man. All the saints. Yeah. Thanks for all you do, my brother. You know, you do a good job, bro. And blessings to Pastor Rufus there. Brother Mike, you
Absolutely.
know, I've always liked Brother Mike, you know, in the ministry, because he was always a straight shooter, you know, and it was sad to see that brother go when he left, but you know, you can see why now. So it's all good. Blessings to all the Israelites. Shalom, shalom, mate.
Shalom, shalom to you as well, my brother. Bless you. All right, y'all. Man, listen, great testimony, fantastic testimony. It's actually my first time talking to Brother Abraham here. And honestly, tell you the truth, if you guys can't see the sincerity in his heart when he speaks to you about these particular circumstances and situations, I don't know what else to do for you. And there's not much more that can be done. You understand what I'm saying? Like, how much more do we need to continue to say these things, repeat, and it become repetitive? It's rehashed, redistributed in the same fashion, but done to a different family every time. You understand what I'm saying? And so, what more can we tell you, right? While you're going over there and listening to one word, right? You're listening to one thing that someone says, and you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to just go based on what this man is telling me, because you know what? It just appears as though he might be right, even though he's not providing any tangible proof or evidence or any receipts. He's not providing anything, right? He's just going based on hearsay. He's going based on how he feels he wants to spin a narrative, and that's it. Where you see a man here who's being transparent with you and saying that he's currently dealing with the same problem of manipulation and mind control over his wife that Dowell did, him and Carol. They both had a hand and a part to play in this manipulation of this woman over in Australia. You understand what I'm telling you? Same MO. We can validate that and cross-reference that with Nelly in what we've heard about Nelly being manipulated mentally. I can confirm that when I listen to Heather and with testimony she's telling me about how she influenced Nelly to want to be with Dowell, saying that she should be with Dowell. You should be with Dowell. We cross-reference this all day. You understand what I'm saying? And I want to bless that brother. And honestly, tell you the truth, the prayers need to go out. And you know, I wish there was more we can even do for him. But this, of course, this is a battle that he has to face alone with his family. And the Most High is going to take him and bring him through this battle. And you know, she's going to be the one who has to realize that she has to remove the scales off of her eyes, and she has to stop adhering to this doctrine of devils and adhere to what the Most High is influencing her to do, which is submit to her husband, which is to be there for her husband, which is to support him, support the man, regardless on if he's in the faith or not. She's to be the chase conversation. She should be the one chase conversation coupled with fear. You know why she should be coupled with fear, as the book says? Is because if she decides to leave him for no just cause, for no just reason, then guess what? She's going to be held fully liable for that decision. Honestly, it's pure facts. It's pure truth. Honestly, and this is my thing, is I wanted to bring that. I wanted to bring it out. I wanted to lay it out plainly for you all here this day. What I want to do next is let you guys know. I want to let you guys know a little bit about what we got coming up here. And I want to set this up in such a way as to where we have the opportunity to really unpack. I've reached out, and of course, we're gonna roll out the truth in regards to slave land, the truth in regards to some of the things that they're not telling you. We've confirmed so much already here today. I'm gonna have Brother Jordan come on up. I'm gonna have him come up, and I'm gonna have him be interviewed and testify and help with this mission, with this goal of setting souls free. That the Most High is going to be the one to deliver these souls from the grips and from the hands of Satan. Because this is exactly, he's using Dowell. Satan is using Dowell. I remember Dowell spoke about a dream that he had in regards to having a choice to serve Satan, almost as though he was Yeshua himself, right? Like he was being tempted in the wilderness, whatever. You know how people try to sell their big fish story. You know what I'm saying? That's what I call it. You know how, you talk to a fisherman and the fish gets bigger every single time, right? I mean, every time he tells the story, the fish gets bigger and bigger, right? He tells this big fish story about Satan coming to him and enticing him with all the kingdoms on this earth or whatever for him to serve Satan. And, he goes on to try to make it seem like that he told Satan to go to hell. But honestly, tell you the truth, was he truly lying to you at that point too? Can we identify that he actually did turn Satan down in his offer when he came to him? Based on his actions and based on what we've proven here today, okay, even further, it does not look that way at all. It doesn't perceive to be that way. He doesn't give off the aura of holiness, of being righteous, of being pure, the things that he likes to bring to the public. Now, he's been publicly undressed. He's been publicly demonized and undressed. And this has not been based on hearsay, y'all. It has not been based on whatever gossip is behind the scene or rumors or I heard through the grapevine. When have I said that I heard anything through the so-called grapevine? I brought you tangible proof and evidence and receipts. People have come out and told their testimonies. They have confirmed what Pastor Rufus has been shouting for almost 2 years now. People have confirmed what Brother Mike was saying when he brought the first storm. People have confirmed time after time after time and confirmation after confirmation in regards to who this man truly is and the wolf that is behind the sheep's cloak. We have lit that joint on fire. We have hung it like shoes hanging from a telephone wire. How much more do we need to continue to unpack and undress? Now it's dealing with these wicked followers, because we know that everybody who serves Dowell is evil and wicked. You understand what I'm telling you? And they just have their devious ways about them. There's nothing that we can do. There's nothing more that we can say. I really wish that there was at least one righteous among him, right? In regards to his leadership, people who are under his leadership. But it just seems like all who serve him are wicked and have something to do with wickedness at some point. They're wicked for ignoring the wickedness and not checking it and not telling people, hey, we probably shouldn't be doing this, because they are afraid they're going to lose their position of authority, their position of leadership. It's sad, isn't it? It's very sad. It's very sad. Now, my thing is this, right? If we got any, I'm gonna address a few things here in the comment section. Look at the fruit. Absolutely. We're gonna get to the comment section real quick, and then we're gonna be landing this plane here very soon. They leaving every single last one of them. That's absolutely true. Wow, he made people pay for the wrong tapes. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, honestly, when it came to the tapes, honestly, to tell you the truth, I kind of already understood what his plan was, and that's the reason why I put out the memo, right, and saying, hey, don't purchase it. My thing is that he just wants to grift. He's looking for that payday. He's looking to cash out, right? And I don't know exactly what his plans is to do moving forward. Honestly, maybe he'll feel like he wants to retire. I don't know. You know what I mean? But right now, of course, if he has an opportunity to make money off of people who already left the ministry, then why wouldn't he just try to shoot his shot and take his opportunity to grift you one more time, one last time, one last hoorah? You understand what I'm saying? For old time's sake, right? And take advantage of you for old time's sake, one last time. And so using the tapes as a dangling carrot, right, to be able to get you interested to buy or sign up for one of his crazy memberships, right? So that way you can hear some BS is honestly another tactic, another move, another deceptive way of doing things that an agent of Satan would adhere to. I'm just trying to understand, because my thing is this, right? I know they have rhetoric. Well, how much word are they getting into? What's this, that, and the third? Listen, you come to the War Sheep podcast on a first day, on a Sunday. Not only that, listen, I'm talking about the problems and issues. If we want to get into the word, we can do that on a later day. If we want to get into the word, then I will be ordained to be a pastor. I'm not a pastor. You understand what I'm saying? But I do love to share what scriptures I've studied, I've learned. You get what I mean? I'd love to share that stuff with my brothers and my sisters. I love to share it, and I love them to share it with me. You get what I'm saying? But our main goal on a first day, when we come and we flock together, is to bring out the truth, to expose the truth, to see what's coming down the pike, so we can be able to see what's going on and see the times, the signs of the times, or we can be able to see people who are workers of iniquity, who are trying to deceive the people. We know what type of times we're living in. We're living in the end game, where this type of energy, this type of personalities are going to be popping up left and right. People who are looking to deceive you, take advantage of you, and also have you lying for them, deceiving for them, stealing for them, killing for them, right? As we know with Jermaine West, who would literally murder somebody for Dowell. Okay, he stated that he would murder someone for Dowell. All he needs is his money on his books. This is getting really wicked. This is getting really evil. We got more coming out about Jermaine West. We got so much to cover, y'all. We got children who need to be need to have some light shedded on them. That's a part of this ministry. There's so much that needs to happen in regards to this, and I'm just hoping and praying that the Most High will see it fit that he redeems or he saves whoever doesn't have a choice to make, whether they want to deal with this ministry or not, that he decides to intervene for those who can't make a decision, like these children or these elderly who need care for, right? That he can continue to intercede, continue to intervene, because he's already doing his work. He's already doing his big one. He's already destroying the devil, right? Regardless on what he wants to say. You understand what I'm saying? Or want to make it seem like. So my thing is this, right? Yeah, we're going to set this thing up. And we're going to keep hitting you over the head, Dowell. I know that you feel like the stamina is going to get lost about exposing you. Honestly, it's just we leaving you with no stone to be able to hide under. Every stone is being turned. Every single stone has been turned and it's being lifted and it's being revealed. You have no shade. There's nowhere you can hide and go run for shade. As long as people land on the War Sheep podcast, as long as people land on Servants of Yah, as long as people land on Brother Robert, right, and him telling his testimony, as long as people land on Brother Mike, the first storm, and him telling his story, his testimony, and bringing out even more information from Hannah, right? He's dropped like 73 videos in her speaking about this ministry, speaking about Coates. As long as people are landing on all of these landmines, right, that's going to reveal the truth. There's nothing that Straitway or Dowell can do. There's nothing they can do. We're going to drop nukes on every page. I want this thing to get so bad for him that whenever somebody looks up his name, there's a nuke that's been dropped, a video that speaks directly against his ministry and everything, all of his false doctrine, so that we can be able to promote the truth, not this false doctrine, this wickedness, the things that he's trying to spread and deceive you all with. Honestly, tell you the truth. Listen, we got the GoFundMe's here. It's still here. Please, if you choose, if the Father puts it on your heart to show love to show love to these individuals, to donate to their cause, right? Please do so. As well as, of course, I got a GoFundMe that's up. And honestly, the intentions are so that we can be able to get Israel on the right track. How many times have you all heard people speak about Israel in a certain light as to where I'm no longer an Israelite, I'm no longer a Hebrew, blah, 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 blah. But they speak about these things and offer up no solutions to the problem. In fact, they offer up even more criticism. Even more criticism. They're not walking as beacons of light onto something that is scripturally written, right? It's not about who exists in this world, in this time, in this hour that are here. We were already warned that these people are going to be around. These mockers, these scorners, these individuals are going to wear out the patience of the saints. We already knew that they were going to be here, that they're going to be present. So why complain? Why complain about something that we have full control over and being able to change? And I'll tell you this now, once you are able to effectively make change, then guess what? That's perpetual. But we got to come together. Now, one thing inherently we need to change about our own culture is being able to stand with each other. When we are all going through something, when we're trying to pull through something, or when we want to support each other, we got to know how to have a heart of support, right? Of being able to donate and things like that in a giving manner, right? In a spirit of joy, not in a spirit that's burdensome, or a spirit that feels like they're being forced to give. I want you to be able to feel joy in saying that, hey, I am making a difference. I am making a change. I am affecting and enacting a change for a community that I know and that I love and that I know needs to improve. So the best way to do that is to donate to the GoFundMes. And honestly, when you have an opportunity, not based on your last dollar, please don't donate your last dollar, but based when you have the extra resources, donate it, right? Give your 10%, do what you got to do. And honestly, it's better to give than to receive, right? So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and close this thing out, y'all. On the way out, right? Let's drop some ram and sheep in the chat for all my righteous alpha men and all my elegant women who's exceptional. And all of you who are members, y'all got also you got emojis you can use. We're going to close this thing out with a couple commercials and whatnot. But bless you. Appreciate y'all joining me. Don't forget to like this live stream, comment and subscribe, and share with whoever needs to hear this truth, okay? We're going to see you guys in the next flock. Peace. Bless you. Shalom, shalom.
When the weight feels heavy on my mind, I hear the drums, they call me from inside. Something pulls me toward the open floor, like a force I've never known before. And when my feet begin to move with time, all my troubles start to fade behind.
When I move, everything flows away, like water washing through my veins today. When I move, I find my way back home, no more feeling lost and all alone.
Mon job, Maureen, Abanuje, me too long. I me too late. Inu me dumba e. Yo. Now my spirit's rising with the beat, finding freedom as my heart breaks free.
Come play the Sometimes for 16. What does it really mean? Y'all said who gon' stand for me, for the evil that I see? Who gon' stand for me against all this iniquity? War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Against all this iniquity. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. War sheep, war sheep, war sheep is our sheep. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for y'all? Who gon' stand for Jesus? Who gon' stand for me? The truth is on fire. We don't need no water, let the Holy Spirit burn. The truth is on fire. We don't need no water, let the Holy Spirit burn. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? Psalm 94:16. Who gon' stand for me? Who gon' stand for me? I will. I will. I will.